Hello, this is J.N.S, and I want to discuss what it means to hold the line in terms of delineation for Black Americans. Now, it's been a year and a half of many of us saying the same damn rhetoric over and over again. So if we sound like a broken record, it is what it is. But we have to hold the line. And lately, what we've been seeing is a pushback against Black Americans concretizing their ethnicity and culture to prevent the ethnocide of their bloodlines, of their unique lineage, of their history. And there are blatant attempts of state-sanctioned action towards the erasure of Black Americans. And you have these proxy pawns who look like us, but who are definitely not us, running interference, and they're willing to run the interference for said benefits or on the behalf of the state, presumably for potential benefits or the ability to usurp someone's identity. I am not sure what is the driving motivations of why these proxy pawns are carrying on the way they are, but nonetheless they are. So what's happening is that everyone is literally telling Black Americans in so many words that they have no autonomy in terms of their right to self-identify and be self-determined, and their right to get out of subject status. They're pretty much telling us that we have no sovereignty in preserving our culture and history and lineage. And they do this under the guise of telling us that if we delineate from this quote unquote Black diaspora, from Pan-Africanism or from the African diaspora, then we are a divisive hate group. This is what these people are saying, just for a small group of the world called Black Americans trying to preserve their unique lineage from getting ethnocided. They tell us if we delineate for reparations, given the unique injury of the justice claim itself, or the disaggregated data that proves that Black immigrants fare better economically in the United States, then we are divisive. That's what this translates to in my damn ears. And that is akin to asking someone to off themselves. And I'll break that down a little bit further because I want to show some actual videos, some actual clips that I looked at that do got me pissed off. Yes, my throat chakra is in a whole nother mode. It's in a very dark goddess mode. Some of that dragon energy coming out, and it is what it is, because I am a lover and a fighter. I always say that I'm both. And what I've seen, just, you know how you see something and your ass get worked up, like you just minding your business. I woke up chill, calm, cool, collected, and somebody just fuck with you, or so you see something and it just gets you worked up all over again. So yeah, that's what happened. And yes, there is a time and a place for certain types of energy. And right now, given the day that we are in, and given even some of the way I see you Black Americans kind of, second guessing your actions, people trying to guilt you, make it seem like you're wrong for calling out the bullshit, trying to make you feel guilty, trying to play mind games with you and gaslight you. And I see, it's not everybody, but I see some people, sometimes I'm guilty of it too in the past, but not now. I see you giving explanations or over explaining yourself, or trying to, placate your rhetoric when you're under attack. Every factor of this apparatus is after you, under this slow mechanism to wipe us off this planet. And we have the data to actually prove that. We have massive amounts of data that can prove this shit. So how do Black Americans get lumped as a hate group for simply pointing out the data of the wealth gap, logically pointing out how we need remedy from state-sanctioned economic genocide via reparations? How are we a hate group for calling that out? How is questioning U.S. immigration policy that undermines Black Americans, but we can have the data to prove that it has been undermining us for the last 150 years? How is calling that out and questioning our stance on certain policies? How is this all of a sudden now now we're the bad guys? I can't take that. I don't understand how we become the bad guys when we are simply saying, hey, enough is enough. We notice certain policies that's undermining us. We notice that we're getting genocided on multiple fronts, whether it's through the environment, whether it's through the economics, whether it's literally through police state sanctioned violence. We can see this stuff. people who like, we can see this clear as day. So if we're pushing back against that, then we see all this stuff with these misnomers and the statuses. That's what really got me upset, because that's the clear Trojan horse for the ethnocide. That's the blind spot that we are seeing now, but a lot of us are still kind of sleeping, but that right there is your biggest Trojan horse. And when we call that out and say that the misnomers of the African American term does not really specify the uniqueness of the Black American, it doesn't do anything for us, and anybody can lump in and out of that term and out of that status. And when we bring up how the status itself of Black pertains to the Black Americans, and how we can look through the data of benign neglect policy, through the actual airstrike bombings, the only group of people that's been airstrike bombed twice, we can see how the classifications itself, the federal classifications itself, has ramifications in law of how things play out for us socially. Regardless if you say, okay, I take it back, or I can take this term back and I can do this. Once you're in their system, if you're under their system, working in their system, going to schools in their systems, the classifications become even more important because you're under their legalese now. You see the pushback against the classifications that they put on us. We get demonized. We're literally getting demonized for calling all of this shit out. And that is a strategic COINTELPRO tactic. But really what I made this video for is because I really want to address the disrespect. I really want to address the disrespect of the Black American by various parties, including Black immigrants, for decades. And after they done voluntarily migrated their ass to America, benefiting off of the blood of the Black Americans who fought for the rights and the resources that got them over here, and then they call themselves looking down on the Black American while trying to lay claim to their culture, wishing death on them, doing all types of bullshit. So I want to show some of the evidence of this and discuss this stuff in a little more detail, because I want to come up with just a little bit more solutions of how we address this. I argue that we just need a little more strategy behind it, because it's not looking too good in terms of the hit pieces that they making on people, how they are using propaganda to demonize our lineage. Now that's going to be a serious problem, and how they trying to force us to keep a federal classification that don't do shit for us. They getting upset because we're thinking of other ways to identify, be it Freedman, FBA, ADOS, American Indian, all types of things. That all of this stuff is the growing pains of trying to concretize identity that has been literally brutalized and traumatized. So we're going in the collective unconscious of the Black American psyche to determine what's the next move, and to determine how are we going to be able to really collate a lot of these talking points and a lot of the things that we are saying in law. So in doing that, I really want to encourage Black Americans to hold the line, but I want to discuss some things, and we are going to be in a different, again, it's going to be a different vibration. This is not a scholarly video. This is not even me being all soft and light, how I usually just like to just talk, my shit, and just, keep it real high level. That's not going to be this video. And I'm letting y'all know that right now, because I want to show you the evidence of the shit. And yeah, as I'm watching it with y'all, we watching it together, is going to piss me off. So I'm not going to be all kind, sweet Collie today. We're going dark today. And it is what it is. I want to show you this right here, because again, this stuff that I'm seeing is just getting out of hand. And I want to show you some of this stuff, because again, this stuff is heinous, it's disingenuous, it's just harmful on all levels. So I want to start with showing this right here. Now this went viral, I believe, a couple of weeks ago, and I had how you just have to get your bearings about yourself. You don't want to just be flying off the handle. So this right here, I saw this, and it's been on my soul for a minute, because this is not the first time I've heard what you see on your screen right here. And this is by somebody named, obviously it's not his real name. It says Tether Locklear, and it says it's Kachi. This is a Nigerian. The tweet that he put up that went viral says, "I hate the Klan didn't lynch this piece of shit's ancestors. What a useless fucking group. Now, he is referring to the Black American. He is referring specifically to Thomas Clarence, who I believe is he sits on the Supreme Court justice, and I think he has something to do with this abortion stuff or something. I'm not into the politics like I should be, but something happened, and I guess this fool, this quote unquote Pan-African ally or whatever they love to call themselves, Nigerian, he gets his ass to take his fingers to type on his damn phone or laptop that he wished death the Klan could lynch our ancestors. Now, this is Thomas Clarence's ancestors, but they're still Black American ancestors nonetheless, right? And regardless of this man's inaction on the behest of Black Americans, which I from what I hear, Thomas Clarence has been problematic over the years. From what I know about him, the point is, he said ancestors. He says useless fucking group. That's the dead giveaway. That is calling for violence. That is hate speech. This is a threat to national security. What this man is doing here. This is a terroristic threat against the federal employee, is what this is. Because if you look and see all the screenshots of how he justified saying this, how he said it was troll, how he laughed it off, he laughed at it. Other Africans were in there laughing at it too and defending it. Look what he says about you, about your lineage. This is, and I'm letting you know this now, and it's God be my witness. This is not the first time I've heard this shit. And this is that, that Clubhouse shit. We were discussing immigration policy, and particularly the bill S.47 and HR Rest 113. So it was some bill. It was 3 bills that we used to come together and discuss, regarding how the policies undermine Black Americans and how the policies of the Office of New America really didn't, we were like, well, how come we don't have anything like that? We were pretty much like, well, where is the bill that's for something similar for descendants of enslavement or Black Americans or indigenous? Where's the bill for that? Like, this is what we were pretty much, so we were going over, I was reading the bill. Like, I was like back to back reading the bill. We were going through it with a fine tooth comb, and this political space of just people having a high level conversation degraded and devolved into bullshit, because who wants to come on the stage and who wants to come into the rooms and derail the conversation? These Black immigrants. And I remember when they were saying then, oh, we wish you'd go back in slavery, and we wish the KKK lynch you. So they've been saying this shit, because I promise you, and it was 100 people in that room, and I know some of the people that also do the YouTube thing. They were in that space when it was said, and they emphatically said it multiple times. And then when we were discussing, we were reading an article about the Haitians at the border. We were discussing that. We were talking about it. We were not calling anybody out of their names. We were not, picking on anyone. We were just simply reading a article that was showing how, I guess some Haitians were 20,000 Haitians at the border, but as they proceeded to put them on the airplanes back to Haiti, I guess a group had escaped and took over a federal bus, and the article literally used the word revolt. To be dramatic and journalistic flair, as they say. So the article itself was saying that there was a revolt in America, and that the Haitians had took over. So we were really trying to get down to the bottom of it, because it did sound very dramatic. So we were discussing that, and once again, people come amongst our conversation, literally, going so low and going so dark when it wasn't warranted. for discussing policies and for minding our own Black American business, somebody just bust in upset because they see their way of life. They see they can no longer, carry on with the disrespect, or they see that it can't benefit anymore. And now it's, you need to be lynched and you a fucking useless group and all this stuff. What this man said right here, I can guarantee you, if I am lying, I am dying. I can guarantee you that I have heard this before with this lynch thing from these Africans. I've heard this shit before, because I remember when it was said, I kept on replaying it over. I kept saying, and I was really actually traumatized. And I think I don't know how the other Black Americans took it. I think they moved on about it. But I kept saying, I said, I can't believe these people is wishing death on us because we discussing a policy. I said it like 10 times. I said, I can't believe somebody would come amongst us and wish death on our people. And say that they wish we were lynched and say we would go back in slavery because we discussing a policy. That doesn't we didn't say anything about these people. And I remember they were kind of like, okay, ain't you gonna, the other Black Americans in the room, like, ain't you just gonna get over it? You keep saying it. I was like sitting over here like fuming. I'm like, I can't believe this shit. Because I knew that it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad. Like, I knew shit was fucked up between the Black immigrants over in America and Black Americans. Now, I know a lot of people don't like to say that the immigrants are Black or whatever, but they, in law, through the legalese and through what is published on the federal classification on the Census Bureau, Black means African descent. Black means someone that is an immigrant from Africa by law. So when I say Black immigrants, I mean it in every sense of the word. Now, in terms of us getting out of subject status and what that means in terms of our federal classification, that's another topic, because we certainly have to discuss getting out of subject status via new federal classification that we agree upon. So that's a different discussion though. And anytime you got shit like this, and I'm telling you, this shit is still up on the internet. This guy is still moving around. Twitter did not take any action. There is now a petition going on. We need to go harder. But this type of rhetoric, if anybody who knows that anybody that was in those political spaces on Clubhouse for that year, we were discussing reparations, when we were discussing the Office of New America, we were discussing policies regarding immigration policy and foreign policy, very high level shit with even some brilliant minds. When we were discussing that shit, I know y'all remember seeing shit like this, hearing shit like this. So it's nothing new. This is new to the average Black American who just had, that didn't have no connection to the delineation movement, or it pretty much didn't really care about this fever that some of us had in regards to fighting against ethnocide. There was certain people that care more about that than others back in the day, a year ago, where now the average Black American is kind of like, yo, what the hell is going on? Like, now everybody sees it. But this bitch right here, look at these tweets talking about our Emmett Till. Look at this. Saying, I don't even want to read this shit. Whew. That my soul just jumped out my body right now. I'm not even going to read this shit. I'm not. You see it. If you want to read it, you do it in your head. Because this is what we're talking about. Talking about our Emmett Till, 14-year-old baby boy who got killed. And we know what happened to him. And this is what a Black immigrant who claims that that we so divisive, that claims that we're so wrong for calling them out. When we call this out, when we call them out for this, we get labeled a hate group. Hell no. Hell no. When we call their ways out of denigrating and degrading the Black American for no reason, they want to run scared and go start a petition, a phony ass petition talking about Black American hate groups, and got Freedman up on there, a federal status that's been in this country for the last 200 years, that got over 15 million documents to prove what a Freedman is. These motherfuckers got their name on there. They got FBA on there. They had ADOS on there. They had Indigenous on there. I'm like, these people are insane. You know, when we're showing clearly data, we're having logical arguments. Now, granted, there may be some passion. Passion is okay. You may see a rise in the voice. You may see a tone change, a curse word here or there. But when you stick to the data and the logic, that's what wins. You know, it don't matter about, in our culture, it's like, yeah, you can get passionate. Yeah, you can even raise your voice. You can even scream. But you better have the facts and the data to back up what the fuck you saying. We haven't been saying nothing tantamount to what this tweet says. Has anybody, there is not one black American had talked like this. I have never heard nothing like this out of no black American mouth. Not in my 30 years of living. Hell no. We call this out. These motherfuckers want to go and say that we're wrong and divisive and start a petition. That's akin to telling someone that you ain't shit, you have no rights, and that you need to off yourself for me. You need to sacrifice yourself. So what that we said this about you? So what that we got thousands of shit all over the internet dogging you out, thousands of evidence, videos. So what that we called you a cotta and we said that you lazy, you ain't nothing, that you need to be lynched, that you need to go back in slavery. So what? You need to practice Pan-Africanism. You need to stop being divisive and say that you're African, say that you look like us, and all of your culture, that beautiful hip hop that you made, those adventures. Oh, you need to share that with Africa. You need to share that with me, because I'm over here. I voluntarily came over to a racist country, and now that I have done that and benefited off of your blood, sweat, and tears, bitch, I done pulled myself up by my bootstraps. I'm making 100K. I got a bunch of degrees, and you lazy bitches ain't doing nothing, and you deserve. This is what they say. This is what this is saying. This is what these tweets are saying. That is what that petition is saying when you put two and two together. Because I can guarantee you that we got decades, and I'm actually link my other two videos proving my point. I did a video breaking down the reason for the diaspora wars in the India to Black American. I'm linking that at the end of this video, and I'm linking the NSARS versus the NSARS video. When NSARS had popped off, all you seen was a bunch of random Nigerians attacking Black Americans. I'm gonna show you that proof too, because we got to get down to the nitty gritty of this shit. This is a much bigger issue than what I would have ever thought and what I would have ever hoped for. This is not something that brings me joy to do. It don't bring me joy to get up on the internet, focusing on this when we got bigger fish to fry. And honestly, I don't even know if it's bigger fish to fry, because they are the proxy prawns. They're the proxy prawns. They are the ones that are going to be used as a Trojan horse to usher in the ethnocide of the Black American. They running the interference, telling the government how we all the same and we all about brotherhood and unity, but you go and you take your ass to my government and tell them that because we want reparations and because we need delineation to preserve a bloodline, that we a hate group because we called out the disrespect. And now we're going to review something else, because for whatever reason, I don't know what's happening. I don't know who's doing it, who's behind it. I really cannot fathom in my mind why we got to deal with this level of disrespect. I just don't understand. So what we're going to do is check this out.
No, I'm sorry. I can't do Americans. I need somebody with culture. I'm sorry.
Black Americans got culture. Americans got culture.
Keep rolling.
I need somebody with culture.
Americans don't have culture.
I got culture.
We got the culture. We are the culture.
Who the culture?
We are the culture. Globally, they know about Black Americans.
No, hold on. We not
globally, they know about Black Americans.
But you gotta remember 1804, baby. I'm the one that won American.
We're not gonna use the word American.
Yeah, Black Americans.
I ain't gonna hold you.
We are the culture.
1804, I'm the reason why you have your independence.
That's the part I hate about
Haiti was the first free independent country. First black free independent.
That ain't got nothing to do with. That don't got nothing to do with America.
That's nice. I'm just letting you know the reason why y'all have y'all independence.
Y'all coming over here because of us, because of the hard work that Black Americans
do. You know Haiti is like in debt for 1 trillion years because
you know why? Because the French owe us how much?
So y'all got independence for what?
What?
Wait, when you say Haiti's the reason Americans got their independence, what do you mean by that?
How they gonna cook me for that?
What do you mean by that?
Y'all gotta cut that out.
We won.
African Americans are free?
I'm not saying that we set the revolution. The reason we were the first independent free country.
Nobody give a fuck about y'all, bro.
By paying,
No. Are you crazy?
No, but by paying Britain, what?
I'm talking about we set the thing. We the one that set it. 1804, we the first free independent Caribbean country.
I'm not gonna go in depth with that, but y'all have.
But what that got to do with America?
We said it, and then y'all followed.
Y'all said it for yourselves, not for
we
no
said it, and then y'all followed.
And we set the stage for y'all immigrants to come over here and profit off of America.
You're saying that.
And you're mad that we came to.
No, I'm not mad. I'm telling you what black culture provided for you and your family.
How that provided for me and my family?
Because we set the standard. We set the
Who
standard.
came here? I didn't come here.
You
Your
here right
family
now?
My family came here.
And they're here now.
And they made their money and they went right back to Haiti. So what's up?
So why you ain't go right back to Haiti?
Because why would I come back to Haiti? I'm Gucci where I'm at.
Where your parents live?
They're here.
What?
And they doing the flow.
How's that going right back to
Day.
Haiti? That ain't going right back to Haiti.
On Labor Day? It ain't been on Labor Day.
So again, what do we see here? Complicit in the ethnocide of the black American via proxy warfare, telling the black American you have no culture. How you gonna tell a nigga that created 50,000 damn inventions with patents to prove it, patent and control numbers to prove it, that they don't have no motherfucking culture? All these music genres that we all know, here I go sounding like a broken record because I've been saying the same shit over and over again. How do they not have a culture? All of their food. Everybody loves eating the mac and cheese and the sweet potato pie and shit. Apple pie. And I just don't understand this shit. Fried chicken and collard greens and all culture. That's not even something I need to even. I've been discussing that, and anybody that knows me knows that I've been going harder to paint with that. That is not even something I need to even waste my time on. But once again, the disrespect, and I know that we've heard this before. This is not the first time that this has happened. This is by no means. I've heard this growing up. At one point, I even, you know, when you don't know shit when you real young, like in high school, I did like think like, okay, like damn, like what is our culture? You know, so these people trying to like gaslight us into literally thinking that we ain't shit when we are the shit, when we the GOAT. I don't understand that. How is the greatest of all time getting all this disrespect? Where do y'all get off calling yourselves when we looking at the state of y'all countries? We know the geopolitics in your countries. Like we are very well versed. When I say, man, y'all don't even want to know like the stuff I be studying about y'all shit, and we know what's going on. We never judged you for it. We never held it over your head. But you come over here and all of a sudden you were eating mud pies, and now you over here, you know, got your EBT card, you know, them figured out a way to get something off the system, and them figured out a way to get you one of these immigrant grants or whatever, and now you have a better station in life, and now you want to go and wag your finger to the black American. And while you don't understand our history, you would never ever understand the pain of what we went through, the epigenetics and the reservoir, the resilience that was bred out of the shit we went through. Y'all will never get that level of how that shit play on your psyche every goddamn day, and how you gotta fight. Many black Americans, maybe they don't deal with none of this shit or whatever. They fine or whatever. But for me, no, that shit fuck with your psyche, man. Like that y'all don't get that shit. And y'all come over here and got the fucking nerve to want to degrade a group of people that are so ingenious. Like, I don't understand how the morality in that. I don't understand that shit. And my thing is, that shit is wrong. Like, it don't matter like your stance on what you feel, your gripes that you got in your community, and it is a fact that I have my critiques and I say my shit or whatever. But at the end of the day, what's happening to the black American is wrong on all fronts. There's not one justification for what we have been through and what we continue to go through. There is zero justification for all these other groups that come over to this country on top of fucking genocide and ethnocide, and blatantly look down on our people, blatantly benefit off of us being in a certain subject status in this country, the wiping of an identity, the swapping of a fucking identity, all types of reclassifications of bullshit they don't put us through. The only group that goes through Negro to color to black to African American and all this junk stuff that clearly never served us as far as the status and benign neglect policy. And you can prove how policies have had a direct effect on us in a negative way in terms of that subject status. But how do this small tiny ass group of people in North America that's been in North America, built up North America, built up the corporation that set itself up on when Plymouth Rock landed on us? Yeah, I said it, when Plymouth Rock landed on us. How do y'all get off disrespecting the treatment? We just seen 10 beautiful black Americans, and I'm from Buffalo, and there's shit that only very select people know. Certain information that I know. I do not. I'm very private with shit, because if I was to say, people be able to pretty much track me. Damn. I don't even think I like. One of them damn victims through marriage and through on my adopted side is literally my family. One of them damn victims. It can be easily proven. My childhood memories were filled actually being around one of those families. Straight up. And I did not go to the public about this because I didn't really want certain people. I think I might have told a couple of friends, but for the most part, nobody really knew except for like my family that's in Buffalo. I discussed it, but I didn't really want to, it was something I had to deal with on my fucking own, growing up in that area of what happened to them, to those victims at that Tops in Buffalo. But yeah, so we seen some bullshit like that, and zero efforts to promote an executive order against these vigilantes and these hate groups against black Americans. And we know who gets the most hate crimes committed against them in this country. When you see shit like that, and you just see a blatant ignoring, blatant non-acknowledgement of ethnocide. That's just blatant. It don't get more blatant than that. Anytime you see that same government give the Asians executive order. This is what we're dealing with, and everybody in on it. Everybody's gaslighting us, including the quote unquote diaspora. Everybody's in on this shit. Everybody that come over here, it's a caste system. This shit is a caste system. And the caste system states that the black Americans who have built up this country, who y'all don't even want to, we don't want to go there about the reclassification and actually the indigenous, who they know who the fuck we are. Make no mistake about it. Yeah, they might have amalgamated us with some other people. And obviously the slaves from Africa. Yeah, there was some people got mixed in, but when you do your motherfucking genealogy, and you do your genealogy the best you can, or you have some help, or even pay for have some trusted person, help you along your journey, you'll see some stuff. You'll see that all of our mixtures are different. That the grandparents, some grandparents are this, some grandparents are that. You're gonna see that throughout your whole bloodline going back a couple generations, and you come up with how you want to identify. And then some people, they figure out that they are admixed, and you see some black Americans that are indigenous, and they decide to identify the way they want to identify. It is what it is. But the shit that they know about this group of people on this small this population, they say was 13%. It's about double that, according to what the ancestors told me. It's about a good 26%, going up to 30%. Now they ain't gonna tell us that, but oh yeah, I got some serious downloads from the universe about that. That is just bullshit. All that 13% shit, and that's the story for another day. But when you see everybody want to dog pile on a tiny ass group of the world's population, because look at it, even if it is just a good 80 million of us, 40 to 80 million of us in America, you still got to figure that's still a small ass percentage out of the quote unquote 7 billion people that's supposed to be on this planet. That's a small ass percentage still. That's still, so that everybody still want to pile up on that small ass percentage over in North America and build a pyramid scheme right on top of our backs. And you could feel that shit. I felt that shit for a long ass time. I seen that shit. You know, those who got eyes to see and ears to hear, when you, wherever station that you at in life, when you start to see that level of oppression and you can't ignore it because your intellect will not let you ignore it, that shit is painful. Every fucking day, that shit is painful. I don't care what you see in your own community that may be dysfunctional, and I've called out the dysfunctional shit, and yeah, I talk my shit or whatever, but that kind of shit, you just can't put it out your head. You just can't. Once your eyes become open to something, you can't just go back and hide under a fucking rock, even if you want to. Now, I don't know how I'm going to be able to contain a lot of that energy, and I don't know how to even. I do a lot of research. You guys know I do a lot of writing, and I do a lot of things to try to, you know, take the mind. But I also like to encourage myself and encourage Black Americans to kind of, you know, raise the collective self-esteem. A lot of this work that I do, at the heart of it, is raising the self-esteem, the collective self-esteem, and seeing the value. Because for the last 500 years, let's not act like this apparatus has not done everything to reverse the self-esteem of Black Americans, to purposely get them to just take bullshit. And it had to be low self-esteem, the stuff we've dealt with in terms of the disrespect that we've allowed for decades. That's low self-esteem. So yeah, I come in where I'm like, hell no, like, you got to keep your head up. Like, we've done all these things. This is what we've done. A, B, C, D. We are worthy of self-identification. We are worthy of making moves that we've been making, that our ancestors been doing. Hell no. Like, don't go out like that. Don't let nobody tell you who you are. Don't let nobody speak on your ancestors. Don't let nobody fuck with you. Stop letting people fuck with you. Stand proud. So yeah, I may be coming off real extreme right now, and I get that my energy may not be in a mode where you used to seeing it. But at the same time, I had to be honest about what I'm feeling in my soul. I like that this shit that I'm seeing is hurtful. For one, it's hurtful because, for one, a lot of us are lovers. You know, when I say I'm a lover and a fighter, my baseline is love. I don't walk around fucking thinking of who can I be, you know, who can I attack or anything. You know, my mind is like, look, you know, I like to go with the flow. I like to go with peace and love. So I'm like, when I wake up and I see day in and day out my people getting attacked, Black Americans getting shitted on, Black Americans getting wiped out, literally, that's gonna mess with your mind. You know, no matter how much you try to ignore it and put it out your damn head. Yes, that was very tangential, but I want to show another clip.
They always find excuses.
Yeah. Oh, I don't.
Bro, my parents came here at 30 years old.
That's why I don't.
When you think about it, put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine going to another country at 30 years old and restarting your whole life.
Yeah.
That shit is fucking crazy.
Yeah. And you can't speak a lick of English.
Can't even speak their language.
That's
bro.
why I ain't gonna lie. Like, I hate when people be like, "Oh, you're lucky" and stuff like that. Oh, I hate when people. I hate when people gripe and be like, "Oh," like, especially like, I feel like Americans, because I mean we in America. So Americans who have lines and lines and lines and lines of family here and they complaining, I'd be like, bro, I don't want to hear nothing you gotta say.
Right. I ain't never met my. Y'all sat there and kept fucking up. Each generation, y'all just keep fucking up.
Yeah.
And don't figure out, okay, maybe I'm fucking up. Look, what's the right way to do this shit? Exactly. And then want to point the finger at the white man, be like, oh, the white man did it. No, fuck that. Figure out what the white man doing and then try to capitalize off the shit. America is based off capitalism, nigga. They learn how to capitalize and capitalize.
They think we lucky, but they don't realize. I mean, I don't know if you had to go through this shit, Gary, but you know, you was down south, nigga. I got off the bus.
Haitian pride.
Every time getting my ass beat, bruv, just for being a Zoe. Being Haitian, that's it.
I got picked on. I never got my
ass beat. Always getting jumped.
I couldn't even sit in the back of the bus. Because the back of the bus, that's where the motherfuckers were.
If we really talking about racism, these black people was racist too.
Y'all used to beat the fuck out of us. I had to run as soon as I got off the bus. Take off to try to get to the crib, bro.
Some Rosa Parks.
Nigga, what? We lucky? Right. Nah, y'all only say that now because we done made a way. We done took over this shit. Not a Zoe's taking over and shit. Now y'all want to fuck with us. But back then, you think I forgot? Oh, they rats.
Remember that shit. And our stance is not coming from a fucking like what's that word called? Like, huh? No, not narcissist. I'm saying like in a more like a victim mindset. Like, oh,
bias.
Yeah, not biased, because people will be like, you're talking shit about the black people just because we used to whoop your ass. No. That's not the reason why. We're really speaking from a logical, fact-based experience.
Real shit. What I'm saying? So, all in all, what is this topic talking about? Lazy Americans?
Yes. Americans are lazy, foreigners are more hustling.
So, once again, random disrespect. And when we call it out, we magically become the fucking bad guys. Oh, you're so divisive. Oh, you're wrong. This shit is like, what do you expect? Like, what more do y'all want from us? Y'all want to take a nigga soul. What the fuck is wrong? Like, how much more do you want? I don't get it. We've been very loving. We've been practicing Pan-Africanism. The only group of people that was ever practicing Pan-Africanism. The only group of people that did not mind sharing the meager resources we got. We didn't care that y'all was you saying that black or whatever, an African American on the census, and so that you can go to school and get scholarships, and that you can take advantage of minority-owned business and black-owned grants or whatever was out there. Nobody was giving you no pushback for that. But when you got a little something, what did you do? You kicked that ladder down and called and then shit it and gave us your ass to kiss. That's what you did with videos like this. When we see a video like this, that's all you said was kiss my ass, Black American. Well, I don't give a fuck that you did all that. I don't care that I'm standing amidst of your inventions and your creativity and everything that you have done, and the holes that you got sprayed with, the dogs that got sicked on you, the amount of our business class getting lynched, anybody who did not want to use the wrong classification. If you said that you were your tribe or your lineage, you got lynched too. It wasn't just the business class, it was everybody. So it's like, why how could you fix your mouth? How could you sit your ass in America on the couch and say what you have to say, the fucked up shit you gotta say about a Black American? I don't understand it. Where is the self-reflection? Where is the introspection to say, hey, it's better for me to just be humble and just go about my business. I've been blessed to come to America from Haiti or Africa, whatever. I've been blessed to come over there. I got my money up. I got my game right. I can send money back home. Man, I've been blessed. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here. And guess what? That group of people, those Black Americans, they paved the way. Because in 1820, I wouldn't have came over here. In 1910, I wouldn't have brought my ass over here. I wouldn't have brought my ass over here in 1930. That's what you would have said. You wouldn't have came over here in the 1930s. Are you kidding me? You would have came over here. So who was doing the fighting and the heavy lifting? Who was out there getting bit by damn dogs? Who was out there getting lynched? And you see, Tether Locklear wishes more of that on our people. Now he's over here in America. What kind of shit? Working at Pace University. Well, he did work there. From what I hear, he don't work there no more. So this is what these people fix is in their soul. How a nigga got that kind of level of hate in their soul for a group of people that ain't do like this is wild. This is wild. And then when we say, yo, I don't want nothing to do with that. I can't mix with that. That's a curse. I can't be around that energy. That's evil eye. That's a curse. Anybody coming around you talking about, oh, you a fuck up and we wish your ancestors was lynched and all that. Oh, no. You gotta get the fuck away from me with all of that. Because you're a threat to national security. You're a threat to, I can't trust you around us. You talking like that, you might go on Hinge one day and try to, set it off on us. And do what that man did at that top. You just like that. Just because you think because he got brown skin? Look what he said. Look with the manifesto and all that stuff these white boys type about the Black Americans when they threaten us. That's the same thing. What he did. It's literally the same thing. Oh, because he got that brown skin. You think that's not a threat? You think because he's black? You think he got the same black status as you? That means y'all the same? Is that what you think? This is what the on code stuff is? Hell no. I don't want nothing to do with it. I gotta heal. I'm not saying that things won't change for me personally, but this kind of shit, this is traumatizing. This right here, but the shit that we've been seeing since 2018, since the delineation has started for the reparations, I've been traumatized. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. Like when ADOS came out as a lineage, and we're trying to do that, and then when the research got published on the racial wealth gap by Dr. Sandy Darity, when it was just discussions, and people were just really trying to understand, well, hey, when reparations do get paid out, who gets it, and that's when the delineation and the calls for disaggregation of the data. Now, things have evolved, conversations evolved, but this is where they jumped out the window, because they started saying, oh, that's divisive, and then they went dark and they showed their true colors, and they went ever so deeply, and to see such a debasement, soulless, wishing death. This is where they have drawn this. Like, this to me is insane. They have went so, and I'm telling you, and I promise you, I probably got a screenshot somewhere. This is not the first time I've seen this shit. And it's been getting ramped up. And I promise you that there's at least 100 Black Americans they were on that app, on that Clubhouse that day, that heard it as well. So it wasn't just me. This is not the first time that it wasn't him. It was other Africans from Africa. It was other Africans. So this is something that, this is like they may have a little running joke that we don't know about. They might have a running damn joke about this. And I don't feel like you go hard enough in the paint for delineation for me, Black American. I really don't. Like, I understand that, okay, it does take us out of our comfort zone to be like this. I'm not gonna hold you. It don't feel, it's kind of like all that tension and all that. I don't really have time for it. So I get it. It's kind of like, if we just ignore it, or maybe we don't show it no fire, or maybe we just. I want y'all to go and type in Black American Studies. Academia or Black American, do type in Black American Studies Program and Center, or Center rather. Type in Black American Centers and look what pop up. Oh man, every academic institution in this country has switched it to African and African American studies. Now we all know the Black Studies programs that ushered into the educational higher educational systems by the work of John Henry Clark. We know that. That's a fact. And we do know that they were called Black Studies at one point, Black American Studies at one point. When you go and look at whether it's the Ivy Leagues, R1 school, R2 school, whatever, look at the names. They all the same. They're all the same. Every center. That's unusual too. And all this shit happened, and you start to look and see who's running these. Oh man, it's bad. And I'm just from the academia, but for you see it in the medical field, you see it everywhere. You see the overrepresentation, but for them to just switch studies like that, where it says African, then African American studies, for damn near every center, that for every school that you done heard growing up with the popular colleges and universities, all of them say that now. And I said, well, that was a concerted effort, because I damn sure remember, when I first, 10 years ago, I don't remember, it didn't say that. It said Black Studies, or it made it said African American Studies. But it ain't never say African, then put you second in your own shit, in your own country, in your own schools. And they even got that for the HBCUs too. So we see this concerted effort of what's going on in the positions that they've been able to usher themselves into. Nobody probably wouldn't have kicked up some smoke if all this disrespect wasn't carrying around. But we see this in the medical fields. We see all these positions, political positions that they done got into, and they slamming the hammer down. They slamming the hammer down on the Black American, and they don't give a fuck. If you ask me, it's kind of like, it seemed like they get a joy out of doing it too. I don't know what that's about. I told y'all that shit is ancestral. I told y'all that shit is about a bloodline. This is about bloodline. These people know, like, at the highest level, they know certain stuff about you that you don't know about your damn self, and that's why they going hard like that. And the higher you go, sometimes it's not always about the white, the black thing. Sometimes the people that's putting this stuff in action, that's promoting this stuff, your erasure, look just like you. Some of the stuff that I've seen, I ain't never seen nothing like that. It just seems to me like your idea of self-preservation has been negative 100 for like the last 60 fucking years or longer. So we're just now getting into the zone where it's like, hey, I don't want to be ethnocided. Every group has a right. Every organism, bio or living organism, has a right to life, has a right to thrive, has a right to sovereignty. Why, are all these apparatuses in place to make sure that that doesn't happen? Why is there a concerted effort to see the very existence wiped out? Be it through culture, be it through misnomers and statuses. Why is this the case? And so it gets deep when you start to really answer that why. And it's not just, because you was the descendant of a slave. Yeah, you might be a descendant of a slave. That might have a component of it. But then it gets deeper to who you enslaved, how you enslaved them, what you enslaved, and what you put, the energy you put around those people through doing that. The bondage that you put the ancestors or certain bloodlines in, and the fear that you have that they ever figure themselves out. And it's as simple as that. And to be honest, you don't go hard enough because you do make a lot of excuses, and you do kind of want to bury your head in the sand about this stuff, because I guess it doesn't feel comfortable, and it doesn't. It feels like, damn, like it for one, you get worked up and you get a little upset and shit, and it's not a good vibration to be in. I like high vibes, I'm with the duality, so I don't really give a shit. But for the most part, I don't like thinking about this all day. You know what I mean? But I'm tired of hearing you say, when we get ourselves together, we can circle around and then we're going to focus on the diaspora, and we'll take our show on the road and all this stuff. You don't even need to be talking like that right now. You're not in a position to even make them kind of claims. Like, you don't know these people. I don't think you know who you fucking with. That's the thing. You don't know who you fucking with. You think, oh, you look like me, hey, and you don't get how deep shit go, or how this shit all really started. But you don't even need a disclaimer for fighting for your self-preservation. What is you out here when we get our stuff? No, you don't. No. Look at what we had to deal with this week alone. When you get your stuff on the road, motherfuckers gonna get jealous and concrete and try to come back for, and try to do you in. That's what happens when you walking around when you walking around and got your shit together. What you get? More haters, more money, more problems. Act like you know. More money, more problems. When you get on, what you think you gonna have more problems. And you think because a motherfucker look like you gonna come around and, I'm just gonna help you and we gonna get our show in the road. We here for the diaspora. They gonna take your shit and then leave and kick your ass down the gutter. Like that drop kick from that 300 movie when this is Sparta and they kick that motherfucker down in that hole. That's what's gonna happen. Please, when we get our show, man, this is human nature. We're talking about humans. And you think because somebody's an underdog that means they're righteous. Because we all oppressed, that means, nah, that shit don't work that way, because a deal went wrong. You don't even understand the real history. You just think, the white guy. Please. Man, we gonna get into it. We've been getting into it. And, I've covered some shit in my first book, The Queen Mothership, about how this shit all popped off. Shit ain't had nothing to do with, come on, this stuff been going on since 300 motherfucking AD. Before the white man is even in the picture. All types of bullshit. Same shit. Same tribalism, same shit. Nothing has changed within the last 5,000 years, 10,000 years. Nothing. And don't act like we don't know what was going on back in 5,000 years ago, because we certainly do. And not just in one region. Multiple regions now. Multiple regions, multiple tribes now. Multiple bloodlines. We know what happened. So when we see all you doing is giving these disclaimers, if you get on code, then we can just be, we can look out for each other, when your interest is diametrically opposed in the first place. How do you get on code when the system, if they voluntarily migrated to a racist country that is historically known to fuck you over, Black American? That tells you right there. I ain't on code. That tells you right there they ain't getting on code. Because they came over to this country and say, hey, I got an opportunity over there. And all they say is, look, don't get close to them. Don't I, and you could kind of, align with the system of white supremacy. You can align with our system. And, you'll be able to get out of that status that they're in. You can identify with that status for benefits, but you don't got to stay in that status. You got immigrant status. You got African status. You got other statuses that you can go in and out of. You don't ever have to deal with the fate that the black American is going to have to deal with. You want the deal or not? Shake your hand. You take the deal. The deal is, though, you can't align with that. You ain't coming over here fighting us, and we give you the opportunity. This is the government telling. You're going to come over here and kick up shit when we gave you the opportunity? Better than what you ever had and where you from. Them motherfuckers ain't going to get on no code with you. What is y'all doing? And that's why, I want to say this. I want to say that B1 culture stuff, oh yeah, that's going to fuck y'all up. I said it. That's gonna fuck y'all up. And when I'm gonna present something, I have to construct a sound argument. With me, I don't just come out off the wind, And when I do deconstruct something, I have a sound, a pathos, a logos, ethos, sound argument, sophisticated, backed by sound data and evidence. So I'll be breaking that down. I'm gonna break that down on a scholarly level, and I can prove that its epistemology itself is a farce. And you're going to be back at square one with that, because what you need to ask is, what is the differentiating factors between the two, between B1 and Pan-Africanism? That's going to give you the concept map of a person's mind in terms of understanding how surface level, whether it's deep thinking or if it's surface level thinking into the thoughts of their ideology itself. Or you can deconstruct whether that ideology is good or not, how you're going to benefit from it or how you're not going to benefit. Then that's how you build your strategy around determining if something is good for you or not. But I just don't come to the forefront with half-baked shit. Like I gotta hit there's some books I gotta hit for that, because black Americans, you do a little too soft. You just go with anything. Like you somebody come tell you something, and you let anybody just sing you a fairy tale, and you just go off in the wind with them. You do it all the goddamn time. I've been guilty of it, so I already know. But that's because we our hearts are filled with resilience, and we really want when we really want this thing to work in terms of our empowerment. We really want out of this bullshit that we've been dealing with. So I get it. So yeah, when something looks shiny, we think it's gold, but not everything that glitters is gold. And when you have to align your interests and goals to determine if the strategy would work, and when people come over, and the actual reasons they came over, the actual construction of what it means to be able to come over here in America when you're black, and what that means, what you take on, what you have to leave behind, what you have to give up, that does not translate into aligning with the goals and the interests of the black American. Just common sense, just logically. Like I'm gonna come over to the U.S. government, who's let me over, benefits, food stamp, EBT, welfare, safety net that I don't have in my own goddamn country, and I'm gonna give all this up. I'm gonna actually go into black status with black Americans, align with them and their ideologies and everything they've been fighting for, and when I don't even have to do none of that. I've been able to get a scholarship. I'm gonna go and fight with them for their reparations. And even when they delineate, then I won't have a status that I can't use their status anymore. So why do I want them to delineate? Oh no. Ain't no, you divisive for that. You divisive. This is what they tell you. That's literally what they's like, hey, off yourself for me. That's pretty much what it translates to. Oh no, don't do that. Because I'm over here now, and if you going ahead and going for that leaves me on the out, and I benefit from being able to go in and out of black status with you. Yeah, I know I'm from the Akan tribe. Yeah, I know I'm from you. I'm Yoruba. This is what the people doing. I mean, they at home knowing speaking their Yoruba language and Ogusi and all that shit, and knowing who they are. But when they step out, hey, they still thinking you a Akan and all this shit. But when it come down to, oh, here's a job application or here's a school application, I'm gonna put, oh, here's just like black American. That's what I'll put. Yep, I'm them, and I'm gonna act like I'm them, and put on the accent, put on the clothes like them, talk like them, and I'm gonna be able to go in and out, and I'll be able to actually represent that group. And even though our interests don't align, we don't got nothing in common, I'm gonna represent that group, and I'm gonna go in there, and I'm gonna run for Congress, and I'm gonna. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna run for governor, and I'm gonna get rid of Black American History Month. I'm gonna get rid of Black History Month. Isn't that what Austin Chenge did? The nigga out in Michigan, the Nigerian out of Michigan. Ain't that what he said? Ain't that what he said? If I'm lying, you should go Google Austin Chenge right now. Go Google that shit. What'd he say? I swear to get rid of Black History Month. It's racist against whites. A Nigerian. What'd he do? I told you. So. You're gonna see. You gotta align your interests and your goals together. You gotta do that before you even accept whether the code is beneficial to get on with. And this is what they looking at. How they saying y'all want me to pretty you, because this is what the black immigrants are kind of like. I'm not fighting against that for you. I don't have that fate. Tell you, okay, yeah, I'll get on code on social media. I'll get on code, but when it comes to the politics and when it comes to economic mobility and moving up in this system and doing what I gotta do, I don't give a fuck about nothing you talking about. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit you talking about no code and B1 and Pan-Africanism. I don't give a shit about none of that. This is what they saying to you. This is what they're doing with their actions. You can see this. Look at this. Look at this video right here.
How do I say this? Respectfully, I'm not your people. You're not my people. I don't roll like that. Just because we have the same skin color doesn't mean that you're my people or vice versa. And this is something that I've seen as an immigrant who has been living in the United States of America for more than a decade now. This past couple of years, people like you see me and automatically assume that I'm a slave descendant, my ancestors are slaves, and then they expect us to think the same way, act the same way, or believe in the same things. And if we don't, we're crazy, or we're called all the racial stuff in the book, which is for another day. But first and foremost, my ancestors were not slaves. Secondly, they were not even Christians. My mother brought Christianity into our family. She never forced anyone to be a Christian. We chose to become a Christian. We grew up in the church, and I loved every bit of it, and I will do it all over again. I will never force anyone to be a Christian, but I will continue.
You saw it. She told you, I'm not you. I don't know you. And we seen this. And I know that now this definition has changed, but of the B1 stuff. But I heard the recording, that recording that was going around all on YouTube and all on Twitter. We all heard that damn recording, and we heard that it in every sense of the word, B1 is what Pan-Africanism should have been, or used to be, or would have been. What's the differentiating factors so that we can really get so we can really deconstruct this ideology here? It's like, so in what ways, if black Americans still have to do the heavy lifting, people saying now, it means that they can only get in code in America. Well, good luck with that. You're in two different, they have other statuses than you that you don't realize legally. You're not paying attention to the hard politics of this shit. Don't nobody practice soft power politics around here, but you're the only one. They try to appeal to moral conscience or try to, I guess placate people's ego by coming up with something that can kind of, well, this will include you. No, They still about to go to our government and run and tell them that we a hate group. They don't give a fuck about that. They come over to America and get on code. For what? What benefit they get out of it? That's the first thing they gonna ask. And even if they do experience they go through it maybe by the second, third generation or whatever, that's still a Trojan horse for ethnocide, because then now you're getting amalgamated with bloodlines that you don't have no cultural ties to. So then in 200 years, don't say nothing when your history and everything is told differently. You don't even get. I'm not the one that say that there's no room for working together, or no agency where we can kind of get on a accord. That's not the case. But then that looks very different than the B1 stuff. From what I'm thinking and what would work, you would need. How do I say this? Yeah, I'll say it now, and I'll say it again when I actually deconstruct it. But you would need an actual template. What you would need is you pretty much just need a template, a high level template that would need to be disseminated of certain things to do to get empowerment, and it would be able to. You would have to be able to fill it in based off of your specific ethnicity, your specific region, your specific bloodline. It's just a template that here's this a template that gives a schematic of how to get out of certain statuses, or how to prevent ethnocide, how to get back resources, how to procure resources, how to do politics. You would need schematics in certain fields, certain whatever the topic is, and whatever you're fighting needs to be real high level. It needs to be open source, which means that it's something like, tantamount to what you will find on GitHub or something, where you can kind of just go in and alter it. Anybody can go in anonymously. You would need to do this all anonymously, of course. And I don't even know if I'm talking too much, but I kind of think of shit, a lot. But you once the template is out, then any group that needs it, whether they in Africa or America or in the Caribbean, then they can go in there and fill that in on very high levels of what those individual peoples and tribes and clans need to do to get their shit together. And that's when action starts. Everyone takes action for what benefits them on their own landmass and on their own country and their own tribe. That's how you would do that technically. If something like that was to work, because everybody has too many different interests and goals that you can never align. And when you're asking someone to give up certain benefits that they get, it's always a give. It's not necessarily a win-win situation for that person, unless you adopt them or unless you bring them in completely into your bloodline. But then you ethnocide yourself that way. If you don't gatekeep your culture. That's when other people start saying, oh, that's my culture, and I created this, and I created hip-hop, and I created this, and that's me, you're me, we look alike, we're the same, we're the same people. You walking around here, admix, please. So deconstruct stuff real deeply. Don't just go, oh, it sounds cool. You didn't study the fucking legalese of black. You don't even know they done changed. They done ran the okie doke on the federal. From what I'm understanding, somebody just showed. A lot of the Black Americans, they've been on heavy showing what the new definition means based off on the Census Bureau. It literally means a racial group from Africa. That's what black means when you go to censusbureau.gov. When you go pick up the Black's Laws Dictionary, that's when you start to see that it has no provisional standing in law, that it's civitor mortuus, and that it is dead in the eyes of the law in terms of in a constitution. So you're gonna have to come out of that. Now, I don't judge where we at. I still say Black American. I have no judgment. Ain't nobody trying to scare you. Ain't nobody trying to take nothing from you and all this stuff. We know you the GOAT. It's not about that. Ain't hung up on black status though. And I remember a wise man. He says this: what were you called before you came into contact with the colonizer? Go there. That's a koan. Go Google what a koan is. Koan. Go Google what that means. That's the break your subject object duality. That's the kind of get you to think of life in a deeper level. That's what a koan is. What Black American answer is: what were you called before you came into contact with the colonizers? For all that reclassification, for all this black from the 1960s, y'all don't even understand social engineering behind that. Then what is it? The Negro classification in color. What then go farther back. That's where you have to do your genealogy. Now, some of the documents may still say colored and Negro and black, but at that point, now you have complete autonomy and sovereignty to self-identify if you do not want to go by what the colonizer or the apparatus, the corporation that was placed on top of you. That's how you combat that. And you're doing a good job of that, because now everybody's coming up with new terms. So that this the FBA thing coming. That's a way. That's a start. But again, you're gonna have to get out of the black status. So that's a start. If you see how long you can stay, that you guys roll with that. You have Freedman. We all know. If you look at, I noticed Congress 39. Was it HR 13? There's a bill, from 1886 or some shit like that. I might have that date wrong, but go read that. That's available to read through, and I'm actually still reading through it, and people send me information about this history, whatever. So people are coming up with different things. This is not no judgment about what people want to identify as. I'm in no position to judge anyone at this time, but that is something that we're doing now. It's coming up with all of these. So we in the growing pains of all this shit. That's why there's a lot of infighting. There's some bickering and stuff going on. People to say, oh, you need to do this. You need to drop black. You need to go by color. You need to go by what's on the Negro. You need to do American Indian. So it's a lot of stuff going on. And that is to be expected given the nature, the gravity of what has happened to us. So I don't trip on that. That to me is to be expected. The growing pains of that, the disagreements on that, the pushbacks, that I can handle, because it's like, we gotta evolve our consciousness. Eventually we'll get it together, and that is a little bit of chaos energy, the little bit of that chaos energy that can create, that balances itself out. That's actually good for the inertia, good for the movement, believe it or not. But I know for a fact, just from the history of watching Black Americans and the way they process, the way they think, it's kind of like hive mind in a sense, for better or for worse. For better or for worse, hive mind in a sense. But for this is good in terms of this fervor around self-identification. That is good for the better. That level of inertia, the chaos that's pushing the inertia behind that movement, that's good for the movement. So there's no complaints behind that. But ask yourself, what were you called before you came in contact with the colonizer? That is a brilliant statement that a wise man said. That is where you start, because once you start to really look through the way you've been treated, and again, the status is different. Yes, through all of your classifications, you have been through some crazy ass shit. Things have been it has been done to you through all classifications, and things will continue, unfortunately. But when you're in someone else's system, you're beholden to that system in a legal level. You're not sovereign. You don't have a sovereign nation. But when you're in their system, you're beholden to their laws, going to their schools, working for their institutions, using their utilities and whatnot. Then you are under their legalese. And that's just common sense. And you can draw a parallel. You can draw a correlation, clear corollary to your subject status and what you have been through in this country. Literally, you don't even have to go back all the way 400 years ago. You can just do 60 years. You don't even have to do 60 years. You can just do 20 fucking years. And you can see that correlation. You can actually see all of your land disappear once black status hit. You can see massive removals of land, bombing, airstrike bombing, all types of bullshit. That's what happened with moving in the Wabian Nation and all that shit. That kind of stuff happens under black status. All your businesses just disappearing and all that stuff. You'll see that. You'll see a difference when you study what was going on under Negro status versus black status. You can do that objectively. Like that would be a cool research project for someone to do, to objectively see what things change versus statuses. So then we can. I know we can make a case that black one that was the nail in the coffin. I know for a fact we can make a case about that. But for those who say that they want to keep black and they want to keep it, they have their right. To each his own. With me, I'm not married to that. I'm not married to the term black. Not at all. Even if I'm still using it for communication purposes, in terms of making sure that my message gets to the right group of people. In my opinion, we haven't come up with something that that all Black Americans have like agreed to. It's like a lot of Black Americans saying one thing that they're doing ADOS, that they're doing Freedman, that they're doing FBA, that they're just going by their tribe. Some are just saying Indian. So it's like, to me, it's just the silos of like it's kind of like a whirlwind, like one of them monsoons or something, you know. And again, that energy is fine for now. You have to kind of have skillful means in how you deal with people and how you relate to people. So I understand that, but I do know that the consciousness of the Black American will raise very high, and they will know that they have to come out of that status. I have no doubt in my mind. It's going to become very, very obvious in less than 10 years. It's already, it's for some of us, it's extremely obvious now. For some people, 20 years ago was, I have an aunt that's 84 years old. When that shit came out in the 60s and all that nonsense, especially that African American shit, she really was too outdone with that. She 84 years old, from Georgia. That black stuff and all that, it was just like, it's mad people that was kind of like, okay, they reclassifying us again. Okay, we getting reclassified again in the 80s to this African American, you know. And a lot of our elders, I'm telling you, talk with your elders, they would be like, man, I ain't never really rock with that. I don't know where that came from. But for some people it's obvious to them now. Kudos to you. You know, you obviously caught things ahead of time. That's what that means. That means you obviously could see the consciousness to shift years ago. But for some, I'm telling you, it's like a brick wall, and they ain't hearing it, and that's fine, because I still love them. I don't give a damn. Like, Black Americans, like, I don't care what I don't care if you calling yourself aliens from Zopata. I don't care if you calling yourself a name after a flower. If you calling yourself the Daisy people, I don't care. I know who's who. I'm not getting hung up on what you decide to call yourself. You're married to black right now, but trust me, the evolution and the consciousness on this planet, and the things you're going to witness and see through yourself, and the spirit behind that pushes our people, you're going to come out of that status. That's a fact. On your own, you're going to drop that shit. And that's a fact, especially when you crack up on them law books, when you really get down, and when we come along and we keep on bringing out the information. But, you know, we get the pushback now. We're getting told that it's jail babble. I mean, come on, how offensive is that? Are you kidding me? Jail babble? A fucking law book? Like, what? Like, that's jail babble? Like, I guess. I've never been to fucking jail. I never been to jail. You know, so I'm like, I don't know where that come from, but I've learned from other people who taught me, were gracious enough to teach me, and I'm always honored for the people who have taught me the information about the Black Civitor Mortuus, you know, and I don't mind saying that. And it's a matter of just getting the information out. It's just a matter of trying to have that understanding too, the why behind people do what they do, and continue to be gracious to the people that, you know, that's struggling a bit with that growing pains of figuring shit out. You know, a lot of people don't know. If you don't know, you don't know, and we have to have that compassion for one another on whatever side you stand on. You know, we have to have that compassion. So that's what I feel about that at the end of the day. You know, but in terms of, you know, but in terms of this delineation stuff, I do feel like you need to go harder in the paint. And by that, I'm not calling for anyone to do anything ignorant or violent or anything of that nature. Because we're not going to jail over these motherfuckers. Like, don't do nothing crazy that's going to get you locked up, because these motherfuckers, you ain't going to jail over these people. You know what I mean? Like, hell no. When I say go hard in the paint, I'm talking about that you fight with your mind and your soul and your ancestors. You know what I mean? Like, you really understand the value of who you are, and you come to the world table as a leader, as a proud Black American, and you tell these people what it is, whoever it is, you stand tall, and even in the face of this adversity, because they sit up here talking about, oh, you guys are being divisive, you guys are causing all these problems, you need to just sit down and know your. I actually heard somebody say, I just need to sit down and know your place and all this stuff. I actually heard a motherfucker say that. So, you know, this is requiring a lot of soul power behind this. Now we're gonna have to really get spiritual, because these people was out here putting curses on us, giving us evil eye and stuff, by proxy of these type of tweets they making about wishing death and lynching and all that stuff. We ain't got time for all this nonsense. We need to get really centered on who the fuck we are. And again, I'm gonna be releasing some stuff out, you know, that's gonna serve as knowledge and wisdom, so you have the talking points. You really understand. Like, don't be afraid to put a motherfucker in the dirt intellectually when you being slandered, when you getting assaulted. Don't back down. Like, don't be saying, well, when we get our stuff together, we gonna circle around and come back and get you. And if you get on cold with us, no. You sit up here doing all this fuck shit. You helping this system bury my people. You need to be held accountable. No one is threatening to harm you. No one's threatening violence against you. We just letting you know that you've been put on notice. We've been seeing your stuff. We got enough data to see what you've been doing. We're trying to go after our reparations. We're trying to really get in a position of empowerment. And we need to have conversations with our government. We have things we have to do, policies we have to write, organizations we have to start, organizing we have to do. I have to do a better job of it as well. I'm in the education. I like to teach. We got teaching we got to do. We got babies, Black American babies that need to be taught. We got young men that got to learn certain skills and survival skills so that they can survive on their own without this system, via knowing how to get their food, water, and shelter, hunting, all the indigenous practice that we need to even survive without dependence. Because, to be honest, we would be starting back at square one unless we get these reparations. We had to get this money, and because we don't get what's due, what's owed to us, we're gonna have to be figuring out, like, literally the transpiration method, like how to automate and scale a transpiration method to get our own fucking water. Because you can't even really you don't know what they can put in. They could put anything in this water in a Black neighborhood or whatever, and we gone. Like, seriously. You know, like, and you know, I know you know me. I know I can go deep in my mind and be all, you know, probably thinking so deeply about shit. So you gotta forgive me, but like, you gotta start thinking of what ways you can procure shit through nature, through this earth. But I want to say, like, we have our things that we have to worry about, and we don't have, like, it's like we cutting through this group of people just standing there that's pushing back against us through us having our conversation with our government, and for us really going after what we need to get. They are literally, they causing this huge ass distraction, you know, and they are helping but they are helping undermine us, because they do a lot of the representing. They go and talk for us, they go and act and say things for us that we don't need them to say. And to be honest, I'm not one to, you know, that really want to focus on these people. I would rather like to focus on the building and the strategy stuff, like as far as like building pocket communities. Like, that's honestly where my interests be lying. Some real shit and real shit. And obviously the research and stuff that I like to do. You guys know where my interest lies. I like a lot of the stuff about families and children and all that stuff. So this is like a hassle for all of us to be focused on this. We got other stuff to worry about, and they know that shit. They know it's an energy siphon. It's like they need that energy exchange from the reservoir. It's like if we can get these Black Americans focused on, you know, arguing with us and debating shit with us, they ain't gonna have no time, and we dragging them down a hellhole. They just dragging us down a hellhole with them. Like, I don't understand that. It's like, we ain't gonna be living like how you living over there in your shit. We ain't ever going out like that. We ain't ever live like that. We saw them slums. We saw them slums. We saw that open defecation. We saw that. We ain't living like that. No, we gotta, look, somebody gonna have to pay up before, look, we ain't living like that. So all of this trying to distract us from what we gotta do, you ain't never gonna distract us that much where we end up living like that. You ain't never gonna get me that damn distracted. Because the goal is focus and logic with me. It's like, we gotta focus, and I'm not ever gonna get dragged down no rabbit hole fighting a motherfucker that already lost. We gonna be on some other shit. But I do understand checking these people. I understand checking it. I understand getting at it. But at the end of the day, once we develop a method and some strategies for dealing with the bullshit with these people via more honestly concretizing our culture and delineation, that's really pretty much the solution to that. But you got to stand on it. You got to say, look, we are who we are. You are who you are. Best of luck to you, buddy. But we got to focus here because we have a unique set of circumstances that are literally about to wipe our asses out, and we don't have no time I don't even have time to argue with your ass. You think what you want. I don't even give a shit. At this point, this is what we gotta do. So that's all you pretty much gotta do. That's how you handle that that's how you handle that shit. So all this psyop shit they running on us, psyop just means psychological operation. No, that some of this stuff would be real. Like, you be in a real simulation. So what we really is dealing with, like, motherfuckers that saying crazy shit about us and disrespecting us, and we really are dealing with benign neglect. We really are dealing with a caste system. We really are dealing with stuff. That's the real psyop stuff, because then they say, hey, Pan-Africanism. Hey, we all the same. We all black. So you wonder it's like a psyop for real. A lot of people, they want to bury their head under the sand. They don't want to face what's really happening. They complicit. And I want to leave you with this. Every group, every human has the right to self-identify. They have the right to self-preservation. That's the first law of nature. If the other melanated people have their tribes, got their nationality, they want to hold on to it, but they call themselves black. But then they tell you not to delineate. Then they are implicitly asking you, as a black American, to ethnocide yourself. If they know they tribe, they language, they celebrate and they wear their garbs, and they come and they still saying they black, but they still know they Akan, they Asante, they Fulani, they whatever, and they go and tell you divisive because you delineate in America for yourself when you have no connection to them motherfuckers for 500 years. At least some of you have none in your genealogy, so you know what we're talking about. And they can tell you that you divisive. That's biologically they're asking you to off yourself, literally. Like, you get to do that. I get to do this. I get to delineate. I get to preserve my culture. I get to preserve my bloodline. But you can't, because if you do, you're divisive. So you gotta say you me. And I gotta say I can say I'm you, and I can still say I'm myself. The game? Is that fair? Hell no, it ain't fair. What the fuck are you talking about? That's how you say that. That's how sinister this shit is. And everybody and people know. I'm telling you that there are some writers that know. Don't be mistaken. I've met some Africans that be like, y'all, they pulling this bullshit on y'all. Like, don't fall for it. Keep your foot on that neck. Literally. Yes, I have had Africans call me personally and tell me this. I've lost some African friends. Sure have. And I wish them the best, because I never wanted to lose friends over this, but at the same time, I had to stand my ground. Like, I know for a fact that in this country, people in the bullshit. Now, the folks that happen to be calling me, they ain't over here. They in the continent. They in the UK. And yes, I had lost some friends from the UK. That was very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But they were on the continent. Go figure. So they see the shit. They see it, whatever they looking at or whatever. They like, that's some bullshit. They know good and hell well we practice on Pan-Africanism over here. They know good and hell well we don't see y'all as us. We don't see y'all the same as us. We see you as brony. We see you as what's that the word for the white man? Marungi. What's that called? Marungo. Damn, it's a word. It's a word. I can't even remember it, but it's a word that they actually call us when we go over there. Marungu. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. So, this game that they run, It's just like, if every group in the world is identifying with their ethnicity and tribe, why is it going to be any different from you? Why would someone push against why would they push against that unless they got an ulterior motive? What's the point of pushing against that? I don't care how much they tell you about unity and all this shit, man. You better study how all this shit popped off, man. They ain't had nothing to do with how you think it went. Nothing to do. I'm going to cover that. You can't point to any black-owned nation and see this so-called unity. But yet, they bring this divisiveness to our country, and because we called it out, and they got to insult our intelligence and say, you know, they play these games with us. And them push, and I'm gonna let you know this, and I'm really gonna end. Them pushing back on this, it is snake-like. It is. It's lip service. You know, when you see people wishing death on your ancestors, talking about KKK lynch you, what? Got videos of them dogging us out, evidence of all the hatred, and they gonna run to the government saying we the extremists? Are you kidding me? You don't know who you fucking with. Y'all don't know who y'all fucking with. Y'all are oblivious. Like, I don't see. And those who are spiritual intuitive, you can feel energy, you can feel spirit behind the thing, man. And that energy that's coming towards us from everybody, that shit ain't good. And it's like, damn, we must be some bad motherfuckers, man. Cause I'm like, damn, all of that, all of this. I'm like, ooh, you know, because you know I have some theories about shit, and I really cannot really go into a lot of the stuff that I know. But good God, I'm like, seem like some of the stuff people say, man, it ain't too far-fetched. A lot of the people that y'all be dogging out and calling crazy and saying they don't know what they talking about in terms of pushing this indigenous pedagogy and in terms of even knowing they the chosen and all. Look, y'all sit up there and be laughing at and thinking people crazy if you want to. Them niggas is on to something. We on to something, I promise you. We done seen enough evidence. We done did enough little research. And the biggest research is Black Americans showing us their genealogy records. Man, I didn't look for the last year. You guys know that I've been integrated in a culture that is pushing a paradigm of genealogy. There's no secret that I've been in that culture, and it's really it was really eye-opening because the evidence was the Black American with their documents. But nonetheless, that's the biggest evidence you need. That shit ain't adding up. As far as these books, I don't care what they put in these books. Yes, some of the books are correct. I write books. I love books. You know, I don't probably read over thousands of books. That's not the point. The construction of the knowledge, the construction of what you think you know. How do you know what you know? Once you start to study the apparatuses of how that information gets disseminated, that's when you see. That's when you start to see some cover-ups, and you start to see what and I can prove this academically. I can prove this like with a very sound argument, with evidence that the construction of knowledge, the epistemology, that has a power dynamic in itself. I'm not going to get too deep into that because I'm actually going to write a lot of material on that. What we're talking about is the very construction of what you know and how you think you know it. And that can be broken down on a scholarly level. It really can. And that's what I actually plan to do. Because that's what's causing the riffraff, the narratives, the way that quote-unquote education gets disseminated within this country itself. It's very political. And we talk, you know, it doesn't get more political than when you start to really study the history of Black Americans and how that education gets disseminated. That's when you see the loopholes, if you can really study it, like if you really get into it, not just if you get brainwashed and you don't question and you're not a real deep critical thinker, then a lot of stuff will fly. You just buy anything. But if you really critically thinking and you really pushing and you really digging deep, that's when the rabbit hole goes deep. That's when the rabbit hole opens up. But Black Americans, you know, this was a play for these people to just literally just usurp your identity, and your call for delineation is messing up the play. That's pretty much all it is. That's what this anger is about. They will get to the acceptance level eventually. You do want to have some type of strategy and making sure that you kind of guard your back in terms of them trying to say that, you know, us, that it's a hate group and all this stuff. And that just, you document every instance of their hatred. Because I know for a fact that you ain't running around here talking all crazy to these people. I know for a fact that's not what's happening. So you need to document all of the hatred, make it go viral. But don't let people paint us as the extremists when you just defending yourself. Anytime I've never insulted, never came at nobody looks, never insulted, you know, these people like that, because I genuinely don't even have there's really, like, to me it's like this don't even feel right being all upset like this at them, you know what I mean? I don't even feel comfortable, but nonetheless, this is where we're at. So make sure you document every instance of their hatred. Put it on the forefront. You have the social capital to make sure that every time they doing something, you making it go viral. And now you're building your propaganda. And propaganda is not that. This is how you control the narrative. You have your shit out, and you're telling the people, like, look, this is what we're dealing with. We didn't do anything to these people. We were discussing policies. We were discussing you know, things that could benefit Black Americans, and for some reason we just have these people like wishing death on us, like wishing to get us lynched. Like, what is going on over here? We don't know. These are some African immigrants. Like, what is up with this? And you need to just do that over and over and over again. You have enough ammunition because they can't help themselves. So you'll have the data. So like, you'll have enough. Trust me. Because these people just come out to attack out of nowhere. Like, it'll be out of nowhere. It's like a sleeper cell or something. It's kind of creepy. Like, I don't know what that's about. Well, we know it's some envy involved, but it's spiritual. I told y'all last year that shit's spiritual, because this is not making any sense. You want to come out of that curse because you have a blank canvas to start anew, to start everything anew with everything that you invented and all the culture that you created and always had here. Everything that's in America, you have the blank canvas to start over, to recapture, to go back, to do genealogy and pick up things, put down things, pick up a new status, put down a status. You really got you're an artist right now. You have the ability to write and draw on the blank canvas of what you want, because you've been here in a silo in America, and you for hundreds and hundreds of years went through a unique situation here, unique experience that only you can relate to, that only you know. Only our grandparents know Jim Crow and all that shit. They be telling us about them stories and stuff. Only our people know the Great Migration, going from how that shit went. I got stories for days about the Great Migration in my family, my bloodline. Even though you may be from a different tribe, or we may have different genealogy, plenty of people in Buffalo that I know say, oh, we came in from the Great Migration too to work at the steel plant. Oh, my people came to work at the steel plant too. That's cool. Oh, where you from? I'm from Alabama. I'm from Alabama too. Oh shit. You got cousins that's coming down here in the summer? Oh yeah, my cousins coming down here from the summer too. They coming from North Carolina and Alabama. They come from Tennessee. Or I'm going down south to go stay with auntie. I'm going down south to go stay with Big Mama. Like, let's not act like we don't know these fucking stories. We all know this shit. We all grew up hearing this stuff about our land and all this stuff. So you don't have to deal with this. You really don't. And I wish you could see that. I wish you could strategically see that shit. You really don't have to deal with this stress. But no, you want to sit up there and keep identifying. I don't know why you want to be these people. I don't know. I don't get it. You keep identifying with these people. You keep trying to share your culture. Like, I don't understand it. Talking about now get on code and we're all gonna be beef one and all this stuff. Like, this is what I'm talking about. You don't have to deal with none of this. You can focus on Black American business. You can focus on indigenous pedagogy for Black Americans. You can focus on your own politics, your own names, your own movies, your own shit. I live in the areas. I was telling y'all it was 80% Black American where I live. Oh, I had that wrong. It's a good 87. It's 87% where I'm around. One neighbor's a therapist. Another neighbor is a police officer. All black Americans. They're beautiful. We have a good time. You know, I mind my business. You know, I live a life of like John the Baptist. I live a very monastic life. Believe it or not, as wild as I come off, like I live a very studious life. You know, and it is what it is. I'm a nudist. My neighbors know they don't bother me. Don't nobody fuck with me. I've left laptops out there out on the porch, so I went to go run, do something. I come back, the laptop's still there. Ain't nobody touch it. Ain't nobody. I forgot. I fell asleep. My food from the Uber Eats come out. I fell a damn sleep. I wake up in the morning. I go. The food's still there with the tape on it. You know how they put the tape on it so nobody touch it. Food was still motherfucking there. Like, nah. I like being around. That all you need to focus on is yourself. I walk around, I see the Freedman flag. No lie, I saw that Juneteenth flag, and I saw the Black American Heritage flag around this fucking area. Yes, I did. And I could take a picture of it. But then I don't want y'all knowing what fucking area I'm at. There are black Americans that want to get more closer together. There are black Americans that want to live amongst each other. That want peace too. Not no drama, not no dysfunction, not no hood rat shit, not no nigga dusty shit. We want peace. We want to live nice backyards, garden too. Grilling, pools in the backyard, having a good funky time too. And that's what we want to do. So we don't got time to be dealing with it. We don't got time to be fighting for this shit. We got a blank canvas. We don't got time for this shit. You got a blank canvas. You can draw. You can rewrite whatever you want on that blank canvas that's going to represent you, that's going to stand for you, that's going to be your values. Or you can get rid of things, or you can pick up things that in our past, in our reservoir. Man, I know I was on one today. I gotta get back calm. I am getting more calm. I did watch some crazy interview. You know how you be watching stuff? Like, I did watch an interview that's getting me riled up. You know, when it was it just was annoying to have to see them wanting like all this explanation for our lineage and just doing like I just and then I obviously you know, these videos that be on the you know, on the Twitter and all that shit, you be seeing them crazy videos and stuff of people disrespecting. That shit gets you worked up, and I normally don't get that worked up. It's actually been a minute. I do have to say, the last time I got this worked up was probably 7 months ago, 8 months ago. So I mean, I think I've been okay. You know, as far as like we talking about, like, I know I may have come out and, you know, and sounded upset or something, but nah, like this level of annoyance. Now, I ain't been this upset since in like 8 months where I'm on here for fucking hours talking about this shit. Like, no, I haven't done this shit in months, like a good 8 months, maybe even it might be even a year now. No, I don't think it's no damn year. No, I don't think it's no year. I think it's like 6 or 7, 8 months. I don't know. But yeah, man, hold the fucking line, man. Hold the line. Do not let anybody tell you who you are. You ain't gotta identify with nobody. You don't owe nobody nothing. You don't owe nobody a motherfucking thing. Don't let nobody up with all this entitlement. Ain't nobody entitled to your energy. Ain't nobody entitled to nothing you got going on. You gotta love yourself. You gotta stand proud. We gotta do a lot of introspection around here. Shit, we got our own shit to clean up. There's a lot of stuff we gotta do. So I'm gonna talk to y'all later. I love y'all. Bye. Hello, welcome to Nakhti by J.N.S. And today we continue with the Black American series. And we are actually on the last video, which is part 20. And part 20 deals with addressing the Black American versus Africans diaspora, quote unquote, wars. And basically, these diaspora quote unquote wars is this narrative that is usually propagated online and within individual households that appears to be a one-sided beef that Africans have with Black Americans. So I want to address that. This video is basically going to detail more proof of how the issue is actually one-sided, and solutions, and we're going to talk about why do we see certain narratives about Black Americans by the African diaspora, like certain things that they say, certain things that they do, and the ways that they come at Black Americans. We're going to dive deep into the psychology of why that occurs, as far as the reasons, and we're going to talk about ancient history that led to this resentment and this animosity. Now again, I will be addressing this from the point of view as a sociologist, so I will actually be showing exhibits of how this beef is one-sided, and also I would like to refer you to the NSARS Black Americans versus Africans video that is on this channel, because it also shows further examples and proof of what I will be talking about. The post that I'm going to show you and the medias that I'm going to show you, you will not be able to find the equivalency from Black Americans. This information that I'm going to show you is going to be stuff that you can readily find online that is propagated by Africans. So we will dive deep into why that is. So we're going to show this jealousy and hatred that Africans have towards Black Americans that will further propagate the need for our own ethnicity and gatekeeping of our culture. The reason why I'm showing you this information, Black Americans, is so that you can be aware of what rhetorics are being told about you, what narratives are being said about you, and that you would need to really understand even further how you need to gatekeep your own culture, and you need an identifier that is separate from other people. So I'm going to be showing you a series of social media posts. So why are we showing social media posts? What is the psychology behind a social media post? Well, basically, gossiping on social media is a convenient way to pour out baseless stories. You know, it is always a veneer for envy, usually. It is an unpalatable way to disguise envy or resentment. So a lot of these tweets that I'm going to show you, a lot of this gossiping and this talking and this hate, there's literally like hate speech that I'm about to show you, is a disguise for envy. And envy can come in various forms. It can come because of material possessions, fame, appearance, genetics, achievements, happiness, respect, popularity, intelligence, knowledge, likability. So any of these things people can be envious of. So envy is the acknowledgement of feeling insecure to another person who possesses something that you value or desire. So social media posts reveal who we are in a sense. They are the subconscious psyche of what one feels. And social media is the reservoir of what we think, what we believe, what scares us, what makes us feel inferior, what we fight for, what we approve, and what we disapprove of. So I want you to understand that social media is the medium for self-expression. It is a digital world. And it is one of the most effective ways to find out who someone really is. And this research comes from a very intelligent person who researched how to know things about people by studying social media and studying small things about their behavior. So let's start to look at some of these tweets, keeping in mind that what I just told you about the psyche of social media. So let's look at these tweets to get a better idea of what I'm talking about. Keeping in mind that social media is the form of self-expression, and also keeping in mind that usually hate is a disguised form of envy. So let's go. So here we have Exhibit A. This is a random tweet by some African, and it says, "Yourself to be respected. An average Black American is either without father, without a college degree, or gang affiliate. These are the expectations of Black Americans. Wonder why Nigerians do better over there." And we're also going to talk about this common theme of, oh, we're doing better than you at what? So, you know, we're going to talk about what are they doing better at, you know, and why hasn't they been able to do that in their own country, like build their own country up. So we're going to talk about the psychology behind that. But as you can see, this is random. No one has engaged this person. We don't, you know, And you cannot find the equivalency of a Black American talking like this unless it's to say, hey, what's up with this disrespect? This is why we don't really want to deal with y'all, because why are y'all talking like this? But usually if you go online and see a Black American talking about an African, it's in response to tweets like this. So now let's look at another one. So as you can see, this was a person named Debbie Ambra Brefru, who says, because those Akatas don't deserve all that global attention, opportunists. I don't support violence against innocent Nigerians, but the diaspora's support seems self-serving. It's easier to usurp attention and piggyback off of Black Lives Matter than help by repudiating. So basically, this person, Debbie, felt like during those George Floyd protests, when the whole world was protesting for Black Americans, this person was like, those Akatas don't deserve all that global attention. So these, of course, it's this one particular group that is like literally talking like this, if you notice, and they have problems pretty much everywhere they go, in Morocco and Ghana and South Africa. Pretty much wherever this group goes, they have severe issues that need to be worked out within themselves. But once again, they don't deserve all of that attention. Is that not? So you on the outside and you see the situation with NSARS, and you see people not really checking for that, or people looking at y'all like y'all killing each other, so what that got to do with us? And they're getting upset that it wasn't the same with the George Floyd protests. It wasn't the same with Breonna Taylor or with any of Trayvon Martin. So they're like, oh, they don't deserve all that attention. We deserve it. You know, NSARS deserve it, not them. So you see that envy and you see that resentment. And again, this is a random person. We don't even know who this is. And it's just weird. It really is weirdo stuff. And I'm letting you know, Black American, that these are very dangerous people. I've been around these people, and this is not a good thing to be around, to know that you have people smiling in your face but ready to stab you in your back, and running on social media to dog your people out, thinking that the world cannot see these tweets. So let's keep going. A Black American knows nothing about Africa. Their ancestors lived in Africa more than 300 years ago. Their history is slavery, Jim Crow. The only thing they share with Nigerians is skin tone and heritage, nothing else. Once again, the same group. And I try to ask the Black American, how has Pan-Africanism helped you? Your people started, my people started Pan-Africanism. You cannot name one thing that benefited Black Americans in terms of Pan-Africanism, but you can name a bunch of benefits that these people have coming over here and took advantage of your ancestors' plight and pain, and have often tried to body snatch your very essence. And here they are talking like this. Let's keep going. Never ever. Africans have a voice and is golden. African Americans are not and will never be the voice of Africans. So once again, you can see that veiled envy. And go check out that NSARS video, Black Americans versus Africans, because it's the same shit that I'm showing. It's literally the same stuff. And if you think that this is not how the average Nigerian is thinking and the average African is thinking, you were going to be mistaken, because go hang around these people and don't tell them who you are, and they will bring you up randomly at parties, at events, at dinners, at clubs, out of no reason, at the mall, wherever. Like, these people will literally bring you up. I've been around them, and they have done it to me while not knowing necessarily what my ethnicity is, and they will randomly bash on Black Americans out of a weird infatuation, envy. And it's very serious, Black Americans, and you need to be on alert, and you need to gatekeep your culture. So here's another one. Once again, what do you see? You see the same pattern with this same group of people. I call Black Americans dark whites because it takes you, the African, to truly be Black. And once again, you see the NSARS. They're supposed to be fighting a whole revolution against their government and NSARS. You can see the hashtags, but yet and still they're running on the social media to bash the Black American, which is very strange and weird, but this is what it is. Like, you know you that shit when you cause all that conversation, okay? Like, this is the same group of people. And I showed you 20 videos of your fucking history of everything that you have ever done globally and everything you contribute to this world, including your inventions, including everything that you went through. So it should be no surprise that there are people that are like this. And this is why blacks are at the bottom globally anyways, because of that same spirit, that Bavioti spirit that is very prevalent in Africa to this day. So be on alert. And I keep telling you, and I'm gonna when I say I'm gonna break this shit down, like the psychology behind these people, They subconscious mind, I'm going in on their ass, and there's nothing they can do. I'm going to drag them for filth, and with proof. I'm not even going to dog them. I'm not be calling nobody out their name. I'm not going to be making up lies on people. I'm not going to be bashing them. It's going to be their own truth being put in their own face. And Black Americans, I want you to face the music of what the hell's been going on. If you do not know what's going on, pay attention to this video, watch all 19 videos of this series, and check out other stuff in my channel. Check out the history, check out the Queen Mothership, and you're gonna know why blacks have been in this position for the last 1,000 years. So let's keep going. This one says, haha, Akata, my mom warns me about dating them. Once again, random. No one's thinking about these people. These people live, you should see how their countries look. I'm going to show you that as well. Like, this shit is really strange. And this is a very common, what I'm about to show you here. No Akata girl would ever be a threat to me. They don't have what I have. Once again, like, why is this even a discussion? If someone truly feels confident in themselves, they never have to compare themselves to other people, and they never have to put nobody else down and make themselves feel better. And that is a common theme with this group of people. They are extremely competitive because of insecurities that they feel, inferiorities that they feel, so they mask it. Being super competitive is usually always some form of insecurity, because you should be competing with yourself to be the best, and you should be comparing yourself to your latest version of yourself so that you can be better. So when people are always trying to look at you to see what you're doing and gotta go and run and talk about you, it's always some form of insecurity and feeling threatened. So let's keep going. Here's another one. To be very honest, Nigerian women have qualities that a Akata woman can never possess. You see, she didn't mention no white woman. She didn't mention no Latino woman. They all in our business and all in our grill because they see in us as a top dog, and they want to do some sort of body snatching of our essence. So this is a mask. This right here is clear projection. This is clear insecurity, because who in their right mind would even put something like that online? Like, for me, I would never say nothing like this about an African woman, because what's wrong with an African woman? Nothing. Like, okay, you're gonna have some very beautiful African women, you're gonna have some not so beautiful African women, just like in all groups of people. So what's the big deal? A woman is a woman, and it's the black woman. I don't feel no envy and no jealousy in my heart about African women, because I genuinely think they are beautiful. And I generally think that I am beautiful myself, as well as Black American women. So when you feel confident in yourself, and when you secure in yourself, you do not have to tear other people down. That's the lesson you need to take from this. And I'm showing you, Black Americans, what the hell is going on. Because you up here thinking about Pan-Africanism just like me. You up here being obsessed with Pan-Africanism and coming together and being one and being united. And these people are not thinking like that. That's why Black people are at the bottom globally, because they can't even study the Conference of Berlin and see how all them white people gathered together against us, and they never do it. They practice that tribalism, and that's why they have the problems that they have globally. So I'm showing you the evidence of this shit right in front of you. So let's keep going. I stopped using the word Akata because people started figuring out what it meant. So again, these people had this secret word that is tantamount to saying the N-word with a hard ER, and they knew it, and they was hoping that nobody ever found out. And it was always meant to refer to as a Black American. Again, why is all this stuff on social media? Why is this the topic? Why are there multiple tweets by the same people about this group? Why is it this one particular group that got all this smoke for Black Americans, but you see how their country is looking? It's really freaking strange and appalling, to be honest. And to be honest, it kind of made me turn forever against, always wanting to be all this kumbaya stuff with these people, because it is a fact that these people have so much hatred and jealousy in their heart. I've been around these people in person, and even the men have jealousy issues. It is very, very strange how these people operate. So let's keep going. Here's another one. I remember how concerned we Nigerians were with the killings of blacks in Nigeria. We posted Black Lives Matter. We supported them. Now it's time to support us. You're acting like y'all skin isn't black. I prefer the whites to these racist Black Americans. So once again, these people had all this smoke. Check out that Insider's Black American versus Africans video, where I show all the hatred of this group and how they turned around and asked for protests from Black Americans, and then got envious that they did not get the same results as a George Floyd protest. and it wasn't as relevant. So as you can see, they prefer the white. So call on white people then. Good luck with that. Getting white people to protest some NSARS of y'all niggas killing each other up and shooting each other up. Good luck with that. But what has the West and white people done in Nigeria and in Africa completely? They have colonized it and stolen all the resources, plundered 14.1 million artifacts out of Africa to put in European museums, enslaved 12 million of you niggas, decimated all of your land and resources, stole all of your uranium, cadmium, rubies, diamonds, and gold, and silver, and oil, put you at the bottom racially, and this is what they have to say they prefer. Now, I showed you 19 videos of the history of the Black American, but yet and still you have people that will go, and this is a professor, you have people that will go on the internet and talk crazy like this, and it is that same group of people, and they are lacking very much in critical thinking skills, and they think that people cannot see through their soul, and it needs to be called out. Black Americans, this is outrageous. I want you to really think twice about how you always want to support other groups of people instead of your own. You need to focus on yourself, and until these people can fix their issues, get real confidence in their soul, be real confident, stop being narcissistic, then they can come among us, and then we can amend that situation as far as building genuine connections, because the Black American is always looking for genuine connections with the African diaspora, no matter where they are at in Africa, wherever country they're at. The Black American does not care what tribe you're from, what color you are in Africa. As long as you have a genuine soul, then the Black American is very much happy to have authentic relationships. But when we see crap like this, all bets are off. Like, y'all gotta fix that, and y'all actually are in for a very much rude awakening within your own countries, globally in Africa, because you guys still have not learned your lesson from the Conference of Berlin, and you guys are still very much self-hating and tribalist, and you're gonna just learn a very serious lesson that on your own. You may not suffer from the pandemic as much as everyone else, and thank God for that, but there's going to be other stuff that is going to test Africa, the soul of Africans. And if they have all that self-hatred and all that hatred in their heart, good luck. Okay, so let's keep going. This is one I want to show. I think this was made by a Black American. All you Africans, especially the Nigerians, talk all this anti-Black American talk on Twitter and talk that Akata stuff, when in fact you are the Akata, fleeing your oppressive Black leaders. I've been to several countries on the continent, and I can see the Black on Black oppression. That's very profound, because it is true. Africans will tell you themselves that when they go to restaurants, if there's white people around, and especially in Kenya, the Africans would treat the white person better, service them first, give them the better quality service than their own people in their own continent. That's just a known thing. Any African will tell you this if they want to hide this stuff and try to cover up their own shame and project their own shit onto Black Americans. But if you went over in Africa, you will see open sewage, septic tanks, not even structured properly. The infrastructure is very weak. You would see that you most likely can't even drink the water. There are Black Americans who have gotten diseases from drinking the water just in Senegal. You can't even drink the bottled water there. So everything has to get imported. If you are a Black American, you move over there because you're not used to the things that they have. That food, except for the fruits and veggies, they eat a lot of canned food, and they're starting to import all of this food that's not even healthy for them, that they never ate in history. So you have to import certain things like water just to feel comfortable. So they're doing all this projecting and oppressing each other, and these corrupt governors, these corrupt politicians are still skimming money, stealing money, selling their people out, making sure that their people are impoverished where they get kickbacks from the West, and they're not doing anything about it. They're blaming the government, but they're all complicit in it. It is 1.3 billion of them in certain countries. We talking about 50 million people, 20 million, 200 million people in Nigeria alone. So they're talking all this craziness when they're not looking within, and they're not looking at their own situation, because they're trying to project all their shit onto Black Americans. They see all this on the news and the media, or they see the popularity, and they don't even know what comes with that and what we went through. They have not even studied our history, and they want to rush over here and try to benefit off of our ancestors' pain, and that shit is bananas. So we need to be aware of the situation in Africa itself. Yeah, we like the Coming to America movie. There are definitely development in Africa, but it is not developed to where it should be, given the resources. So yes, they have skyscraper buildings. Yes, they have that usually the Chinese have built, or the Belgians. Seriously. So yes, they have certain infrastructure over there. I'm not saying it's just grasslands and elephants everywhere, but they themselves know that their shit is not developed the way it should be, that the governments are oppressing their own people, and that the ingenuity of the people is being stifled, and they are not doing they're not focused on that. They focused on us, and we need to really call that out, and we need to push that hatred. We need to put that mirror back up in their face and say, here's your self-hatred. Instead of projecting that shit onto my group, look at what's going on with your own people and your hometown. So let's keep going. Nigerians are flocking to work in Texas prison. An immigration trend changes the face of corrections. So once again, these people have no problem getting in where they fit in. They will trample over you to what they perceive as being in the system, which is usually the matrix. It is not their own system. It is Western society. So they are coming over here to work in a prisons to oppress other black people. They have no problem doing it. They do this in their own country with the oppression. That's why you see them killing each other, chopping each other's breast off, doing the Boko Haram, doing the Biafran war, all types of civil war, just killing each other just off of facial features like the Tutsis and the Houthis and all this stuff. This stuff is outrageous, and it must be called out, because these people have went too far in their self-hatred. They are literally causing us to continue to be perpetually at the bottom globally, because they don't have any racial self-pride, and they're projecting so much hatred onto other black people. So let's keep going. Now this one is a big one, and if this don't show you what these people is about, I don't know what will. Okay, so here we have the Nigerian Union Diaspora in America congratulates Trump. You can see the date. You can see this was in New York, and this was, you can see who it was written by. And let's keep going and see what it actually says. So it says, Nigerians in America, under the auspices of Nigerian Union Diaspora, hereby congratulate you for the victory in the presidential election of November 8, 2016. Mr. President-elect, as you stated in your victory speech, now it's time for America to bind the wounds of division and work together. This statement is especially important considering the divisive tone that characterized the long presidential campaign. Now, mind you, Trump called their country a shithole, but this is what they fixed their mouth to say. Let's keep going. We strongly encourage you, sir, to capitalize on the post-election goodwill and extend an open hand to all Americans, including minority groups, most of who were frightened by aspects of your campaign that were widely viewed, understandably, with apprehension. But with your pledge to be the president for all, Nigerian Americans are emboldened to be willing, ready, and able to do all we can on the enormous work of healing the country and building a better America for all its citizens. An America that works for all the people is a pillar for peace, global, and stability. So, once again, do you think that Trump and them really care about some shit like this? Like this group of people do not understand white people at all. They don't understand Western pedagogy or Western thought. So for them to even write something like this is outrageous, given that this president called their country a shithole. I'm not saying that they should have spewed hate speech towards him. They just should have ignored it. Like, did you see any black Americans writing no crap like this? No, we just mind our business. Like, okay, he won. Okay, let's see what he do. All of this, are you going to be all American presidents and all this? They don't even want you in their country. And what did Trump do? He restricted Nigerian visas. So again, just notice the trend of who is spewing all this stuff, what they're doing and how they're moving. Now watch this. See this second paragraph right here. It says the Nigerian Americans trace their history in the United States back to over 4 centuries ago and have contributed immensely in all spheres of U.S. national development. Now, that's what I'm talking about. How the hell were you here 400 years ago? Do you see that they literally have said that they were black Americans, that they don't trace their history back here? How do you trace your history in the United States 400 years ago? That's what 4 centuries are ago. You know this, and contributed immensely. They have not even been allowed to come over here until after 1965. So do you not see Black Americans what we're dealing with? Like I don't see how they could say, as far as being Nigerian Americans in their own country, that they are the same group that have been over here for 400 years and it can trace their history back. How the hell can you trace your history back? How? What you talking about, the Black Americans that was already over here? The indigenous Black Americans? And the ones that was sold off from Africa? Them not your people? We are not even the same people. And as you see all them tweets of them saying, you're not African, it take a true African to be, y'all dark whites. Well, I take the whites over these Black Americans. So you see that jealousy? If I've just proved to you the jealousy. They talked all that shit and then wrote something like this and said, we can trace, the Nigerian Americans can trace their history in the United States back to over 4 centuries ago. That's 400 years. That's before the country was even America. That's clearly they're referring to the slave trade and Black Americans. That's not y'all people though. That's Black Americans and their lineage. So you see them scooping over all that Akata stuff. What it's really about? They kissing ass the president to see how they can get a Scooby snack and all this stuff, and it still didn't work. And then they're cosplaying and body snatching the identity of Black Americans by saying that they were here for 400 years ago. So if you cannot see how that is insane, I don't know what is. Now, do Black Americans, some of them may be descendants of Nigeria, but that's not the same. These are immigrants. These people are not the same as us. They do not claim us. We don't even look the same. We don't even have the same admixture anymore. We do not have the same culture anymore. So you cannot claim a group of people that was here 400 years ago. Because when we tried to say, hey, you know that our haplogroups are the same, right? Hey, you know that our ancestors come from Nigeria. Y'all still didn't care, and y'all actually said, oh, you're not African, you'll never be us. Great. We okay. We don't want to be. And if you could see our history and study our history, we didn't fumble the ball. We don't have a history of selling people out, selling each other and all this stuff. You see our 600 history that's small, and that's not like, that's a new history. But them 600 years that I showed you from 1451 to 2021, showing what everything the Black American went through in this country, you didn't see no crazy ass shit of Black Americans going to civil war with each other, ripping each other's heads off, chopping off clitorises, chopping off breasts, and doing Boko Haram stuff. You don't see none of that in my history, in my people's history. But we can pull up a textbook of y'all history, and I could show in various parts of Africa where y'all was killing each other, doing wars, selling other tribes out to the white man, and now y'all got yourself in that situation, selling out your own people, overthrowing the Queen Mothership. So don't try to claim the diaspora, just like how y'all can't claim them Jamaicans, and how them Jamaicans would tell you real quick that they not African and they not the same and they're Jamaicans. Do not do that to my people, to Black Americans, because y'all never say, oh, the Jamaicans don't have no culture, the Trinidadians don't have no culture, the Brazilians don't. Y'all don't say that to them. They've been out of Africa for 600 years too. So don't come at my people like that. We've been out of Africa for 600 years. You said we not the same. You said y'all just like the white man. Y'all da. Okay, let it be. We'll see how this turn out, because we haven't had any help for 600 years. So we actually don't need y'all. But y'all coming over here and applying for affirmative actions and applying for our scholarships that my ancestors died for. So y'all clearly need us. We built a lot of this infrastructure in this country. That's a fact. All the railroads, the White House, all these universities that y'all attending, that was my ancestors that laid those bricks. So y'all need us. And this proof is in the pudding. So now we about to get deep into the psychology of why they're saying the things that they're saying and why they're doing the things that we're doing. They sold their own people out to foreign people, the Portuguese, the Dutch, and the British, for trinkets, for mirrors, and weird little spices from India. They had no idea who these people were and where those people was going, but they had no problem selling out other tribes because they said, that's not our tribe. And then the shit backfired, and the white man came and got their ass up too. So they were jealous then, and they are jealous now. The thing is, they was hoping when they sold the tribe of Judah out and all these other tribes, the Mendi tribe, the Takir tribe, when they sold the Mende tribe is known for vast superior warrior skills and stuff. The Takir tribe is known for certain types of consciousness in their mind that is very brilliant. So they were selling out niggas that they know that could be a threat one day to them. Duh. So why do you think they sold Black Americans, Jamaicans, and all this stuff? We all over the land now because of this, because of these people. They knew that when they were selling us to the white man on those ships, that they would have never saw us again. But they were hoping to wipe those bloodlines off of the planet in 1 to 2 generations. So they figured at least in 1 to 2 generations that those tribe bloodlines would be completely gone, and we won't have to worry about them ever again. It was not because you were so weak, because if that's the case, the Black American would not have ended up building the most powerful country on the planet. So that was the outcome when 500 years went by and we met up again, when they were allowed to come over here after 1965, after the Civil Rights Movement, and they still saw all those Black Americans over here. They felt that ancestral anger again. That's why they do go on Twitter and do all that stuff. That's why they say all this stuff. That's why they kata and all this. That is ancestral epigenetics. That's cell memory consciousness. They cannot believe that their plan backfired, because look at Africa. And they cannot believe that the group that they call themselves selling out, the Jamaicans and the Black Americans, and even, you know, some of the other Caribbean nations, are actually more popular as far as social capital and as far as soft power. And they just shocked that Black Americans was able to do all that stuff that they have done in 600 years under a boot of oppression. So that's where that anger comes from. That's where that envy comes from. And that's why they're going online and on social media talking crazy. Oh, they're not African. Oh, they not deserve all that attention. Oh, they'll never be able to compare. Oh, we can't stand them. Oh, go look at both of my videos and compare these tweets. Go look at these tweets yourself. All you gotta do is just put Black Americans and put Africans. You're gonna see a whole bunch of Africans just talking crazy. So this is what they are about. So this is the reason for all of their hatred. The fact that they sold them niggas they was starting by 1,000 years ago, hoping to wipe them off the planet for good, and then to come find out they still around, bopping around and living decent and trying to protect themselves and trying to live every day and putting their best foot forward every day. And that's what these Africans are really ravenously jealous of, and they cannot believe that they, in spite of everything that went through us, then they cannot believe that we still resilient and that we still built a culture and still love actually being melanated, even though we spent 600 years, you know, being whitewashed. And through our struggles, we are still made resilient, and we still practice alchemy. We still practice them ancient religions subconsciously, such as the teachings of Tahuti and the teachings of Hathor. We still have those bloodlines in us. We still understand the Ma'at system and our cell memory consciousness. Now, I'm not saying that Black Americans did everything right, because we have not. We have not. But we, by and large, love being melanated, and we also have no hatred in our hearts towards other groups of people. So that is why this group is always online talking about us, always saying the kata, running over here to engage in our culture. They're starting up these magazines acting like they're Black Americans. Then you find out they're not. Gossip and Shade Room, Media Takeout. You must not support that stuff, because I'm showing you the proof of what this is all about. You see them writing our president talking about we've been in this country for 400 years. How? You see them going on the internet saying that we don't deserve all that attention, and SARS do. You see all this envy. This is envy. This is insecurity, and it needs to be called out once and for all. So we're going to address the common talking points that they love to go once again on the internet and spewing. And one of the common things that they say is, we do better in your country than you. What have you done better than? Because I already showed you 19 videos of everything my people have been through and everything that they have done, and I didn't even get to show all their inventions. So what did you do better than? And when we built this whole infrastructure up, what are you doing better than? We already have Black lawyers. We already have Black mathematicians. We already have Black engineers. In fact, your call forwarding and your touchscreen, that was invented by a Black American. So what So what is it? The IBM computer that was a black American. What have you done that we have not done? What are you doing better than in? You're living myopically, and then if that's the case, you should be able to go in your own country and continue to do that. Why can't you do that in your own country? Why you have to come over here in my country? Not only that, why is it that black Americans do better in Ghana, in Nigeria when they go over there? It is because the Africans that are allowed to come over in this country usually come from means. Quiet as it kept, a lot of these people that you see that are Africans are not refugees. They are not poor. They come from the elite class in their own societies most of the time. So if you are already elite because of the stuff, the politicians' money or whatever, how y'all got your money, the money that y'all have, if y'all already have money in your country, of course you're gonna have money in America. Y'all do better than the white people here. And when the white people go to your country, they do quite well. So what is this narrative of we're doing better than you in your own country? Do you know that in Ghana there are black Americans who own hotel resorts, that own hospitals, that own schools? Black Americans that literally own schools teaching Ghanaian children. Who cares? Of course they most likely went over there. You gotta have money to live in Africa. We all know that. You gotta import all that water. You gotta import all the things that we used to. Amazon packages gotta be rerouted and you gotta get them big ass shipping containers just to go to Africa and all. You gotta have money to get there. So if any black American is over in Africa and they were to say we're doing better than you in your own country, they're gonna look stupid as fuck. Duh, asshole, you was doing better than half the Americans there. You have to have money to get over here. So that's why you don't see black Americans talk like that when they living in Ghana and Nigeria and South Africa, because they already know. They were already the wealthy or middle class in their own country. So duh, yeah, they're gonna be doing better than half of the Africans in there. Just like when you come over here, you take that small amount of Africans that they let over here. They're usually taking the most educated, the ones with tech skills, and you gotta have some money. You got some type of money. They may have a small amount of refugees allowed, just a tiny amount. But for the most part, they're not just letting no random Africans. No. And you know that they only allowed that after 1965. So all of this, we're doing so much better than you in your own country. You're not doing better than the black American. The black American is doing whatever the hell they want to do. So if they want to do mediocre shit, great shit, nothing, if they want to do nothing with that's their business. So they already did everything, and we know how to do everything. So what is there you're doing better at? What, being a lawyer, being the ass kissing lawyer, being a lawyer for the white man, being a doctor in a white society? So what are you doing so much better than? Being a lawyer in a Western society, being a doctor in a Western society, being a professor in a Western society? You can't even do it in your own country. What is so impressive about being a doctor in the Western society? Because you're brainwashed. Just because you're whitewashed doesn't mean that black Americans value the same things y'all do. Yes, we value education, but we value intellect. Intellect and education is two different things. So we value creativity. We value expression of the soul. Things that bring us passion. So we're just a different group of people that won't even be able to understand why is this rush to go work in the Western society when we actually are on business ownership. The average black American right now is obsessed with starting some type of business. Even niggas in the hood, everybody want a business right now. The black Americans are, we gotta have businesses, we gotta have black business. That's how we're talking. So we cannot relate to Nigerian talking about we're doing better than you because I'm a software engineer. Okay, like that, you're working as a software engineer for Google or whatever these companies are, and we're trying to get our own business popping. So I don't know. Okay, I don't know how that's supposed to make us feel. We will only feel some type of way if we value that. And trust me, I know a lot of engineers and all types of lawyers, all types of stuff. It will only make me feel some type of way if I value that. To be honest, I am obsessed with entrepreneurship. I am obsessed with owning and self-determination. So I can't relate to that type of mindset. So as far as this notion that we're doing better than you in your own country, that is obviously a narrative that can be easily obliterated, because once again, when a black American goes over to Ghana, they pretty much buy up the shit too. They own the land, they own the hotel resorts, they start up schools. It's the same thing. You were the wealthy that were allowed over here, so of course you're going to be doing better than Black Americans and even white Americans. But you have not done anything that we have not done, and we're not impressed by running from another country to come to a country to mute off of that said ancestor that you have so much resentment for, and then working in a Western society when the things that need to be done in your country is still underdeveloped and all types of things. That's just, I don't see how somebody should be impressed with that, just to be honest. So let's keep going. Y'all say you Black Americans are lost. That's what they say in them tweets and stuff. And if you don't see that, check it out in the other video that I just told you about. They say y'all lost and y'all don't know who y'all are. Y'all don't know y'all roots. Okay, so what has not being lost done for you in Africa? Look at Mama Africa. Look at the state of the continent. The biggest continent in the world, the continent with the most resources in the world that cannot be fucked with. It literally is powering the whole planet, except for you. So what has being found and knowing your tribe done for you when you gotta flee? Do you know that there were 7,000 Nigerians during the pandemic that rushed to the airport to them private planes to try to get into America during the pandemic? 7,000. So what has it done? What has being found and knowing your tribe for centuries done for you and your people? Maybe you as an individual, but look at the impoverishment of those people in many of these African countries. It should be no one impoverished in Africa. It should be no one dealing with the things they are dealing with in Africa. Jobs should be plenty. So much infrastructure to be developed. So many things to be created and invented. And there's some structural issues going on in your own countries. So what has being found or knowing your tribe actually done for you when y'all still going over to the lost people's land? Y'all still coming over here. I mean, if Black Americans, we so lost or whatever, I mean, I'll take that, because if that's what it needs to be found as far as being hateful towards other groups, tribalist, self-hating, low self-esteem, unwilling to challenge the leaders on how they're allocating resources and money to the people, I'm good. I'll deal with the stuff that I gotta deal with in America. I will deal with that. Well, I will deal with the history of what my people went through versus having to go over there and deal with open sewage and all this stuff going on with this water. I can't even get a fresh cup of water. That's just crazy. So all of this stuff about we so lost, y'all lost too. Y'all just in denial. Y'all projecting everything onto us. How is Africa looking the way it's looking? That means you're lost too, because you clearly don't know who you are, and you don't know your history either. I have been around y'all. I had to tell you your freaking history. You get mad at me and feel offended, but y'all in Africa, they telling y'all and teaching y'all European history. Y'all not even learning African history in a lot of these schools. So there are some issues that need to be addressed. So all of this, we so lost, I would say all of y'all niggas is lost, because Africa should not even be looking like that, and y'all shouldn't be holding your head down and going on media and writing crazy tweets comparing yourself to other Black groups and all this weird stuff. It shouldn't be happening. So in my opinion, y'all are lost, if not worse, because y'all have been over there. And y'all have been in Africa and still did not build it up, or your ancestors were selling people out and selling and doing all types of ridiculous stuff. And look at the state of Africa. So what has being found and being knowing my tribe, what has it really gotten y'all? And it's important to say this because y'all lands have been plundered and squandered. The resources of Africa has been just squandered to the point where y'all don't even benefit off those resources. You have puppet leaders who purposely impoverish the people. Africa has been colonized after selling their own people, and now they come to the land that my people built and fight for crumbs in another man's land. have to voluntarily come to a country that has historically been known to oppress black people instead of building up Mama Africa. So these people just have no right to be talking crazy to the black American. Once again, I ask you, what did knowing your tribe and knowing your land do for you? I studied all 54 countries in Africa and can break down 100,000 years of Africa and its history. And Africa is at its lowest state that it has ever been. And that will change. It's actually going in the opposite direction now. As far as the law of rhythm and the pendulum is swinging back into Africa's favor. But you got colonized on your own lands and oppress each other like hell in Africa. So once again, I ask, where did knowing your land do for you? Blaming it on the government and fleeing the country to go to the country that was built by the slaves? That's what it did for you? That's what it did? The skin bleaching? European wigs? What did it do? What did knowing your land do when y'all skin bleaching like hell over there and wearing them crazy ass wigs? So y'all gotta address your own stuff and stop projecting it onto my tribe. Do you know that skin bleaching is frowned upon in black American culture? It is. Skin bleaching is not safe. If you tell somebody that, black Americans will look at you like you out of your mind, and they will look at you, they will straight up call you to your face a self-hater. Also, believe it or not, black Americans love weaves, but as you notice, there's so much beef with weaves all our whole lives because, once again, black American men will call it out as trying to look like a European, a Malaysian, or Brazilian woman. So that's something that now has come to the forefront, and within the last 10 years, you do see black American women moving away from the weaves, or they're getting the weaves that look like their natural hair. So what did knowing the land do for you? Look, we gotta really nip this shit in the bud. I am so sick of this hatred of my people for no reason, and we're gonna have to address it. So let's keep going. So another one y'all say is, y'all need to stop saying that we live in the mud hut. Stop thinking that we live in mud huts and that we all deal with spears and stuff. My thing is, if y'all did, and if y'all don't, what's wrong with that? Here's another thing. We know that Africa has cities. We know that they have buildings. Do we not know that? Everyone knows that. But we also know that a lot of those villagers are still living in mud huts, which is actually clay. It is an eco-friendly home, and that clay has minerals that helps build the immune system. It is helping them be in tune with nature, and is giving them a beneficial energy from the sun. So what is actually wrong with a mud hut? Quote unquote mud hut. It's actually a clay home. Do you know that there are people that are trying to get into eco-friendly situations now? They're living in tiny homes here in America, using certain materials to mimic the quote-unquote clay mud hut. So if you see that black American has decolonized their mind, and particularly me, I could speak for myself, but I have decolonized my mind to the point where I don't see what's wrong with that. What's wrong with living off of damn nature? I don't get it. So even if someone says, okay, Africa has cities and they have mud huts, why does that offend you for us to say that? For one, what's wrong with living in an eco-friendly house? And what's wrong with living off of nature? And also, what's wrong with having a spear? For one, humans are supposed to be hunting their own food. So we have removed ourselves so far away from God and from nature, where we go to grocery stores to get meat, when really you're supposed to be hunting. So what is wrong with old-fashioned hunting, bow and arrow, or a musket, or a spear? So what is wrong with having a fucking spear? Now, do you have that now? Most likely not. But there are bushmen in South Africa that still do traditional hunting with the spear, and there are plenty. It's 54 countries in Africa. There's plenty of Africans that are using a spear to get their food. And what the hell is wrong with that? That's how you build skills, hunting skills. How can you make fun of someone for knowing how to hunt their own fucking food? If all this stuff go down, like how we think it's going down with these food shortages, and you can't get in a grocery store and get no meat or get no food, period, you're gonna wish you had the Bushman skills. And I'm talking to you Africans, because you're saying that you get upset as the Black American says, oh, we wish we had a clay home. We should build us a clay home. Or shit, we need to get a bow and arrow and start learning how to hunt. And y'all say, oh, y'all think we're so primitive? How is living in tune with nature primitive? So no one cares, and no one sees it as a bad thing to live in a clay home, and no one sees it as a bad thing to have a spear. So I don't know why y'all feel ashamed about that. If the Black American says, oh, we think that's cool, of course we know that not all of Africa has a damn mud hut. So let's keep going. We want to also talk about why in 600 years haven't Africa done anything to repatriate Black Americans or to help get them back over there, with the exception of Ghana, and I think Rwanda has done something, and Nigeria has done something as of 2019, I believe. So why did it take so long? Because that just started within the last 10 years. And why don't y'all, as the locals, want us coming over there? They don't really want Black Americans over there because they know, once again, all of that Akata stuff of, oh, we do better than you in your own country. For one, they know all that go out the window, because we would really thrive there. And we will build up that land. We will build up that infrastructure. And they know that, and they don't want to be embarrassed, because they will see a group of people. We will get slaughtered over there, guys. If we went as a whole over there, and they saw how we was building up all that stuff. If you don't know Black Americans in their own cities, look up Mound Bayou, look at Durham, look at Tulsa, and you will see what I'm talking about. Black Americans know how to build a city when they're left alone. So they don't want to be embarrassed. They know we would go over there and teach those kids electric engineering, irrigation. We would teach those kids to stop poaching those animals and protect Mama Africa and protect all of those precious animals that deserve to be on that land and not poached by foreigners. They know that we would be going over there, and they would get mad at us for ruining their relations with foreigners and Westerners, because we would be more self-determined. We would believe that Africa is for Africans, or we would believe in Black people should be building up Africa. And they don't want that to happen. They will get embarrassed, and they will feel like, okay, y'all ruin it for us. We getting sanctions because of y'all niggas. Y'all too political. Y'all too radical. Y'all getting us, sanctioned and shit. So no, that's why they don't want us over there, because even with my skill set, they know I'll be teaching those kids all types of information. I'll be teaching them irrigation. I'll be teaching them welding. I'll be teaching them all types of stuff. And not just me, but all Black Americans will be over there doing our best to actually, like, okay, let's build a nice city. Let's build a real nice town for everybody to enjoy, for Black Americans and Africans to enjoy. And those Africans will, just like how you saw them tweets, they'll be talking just like that everywhere. They'll be talking. If you see that hatred on social media, imagine how that hatred will be right in front of you. They will burn it down. They will burn it down once you build it up. You think white people burn your shit down when you build it up? Oh, they would do the same thing too. They would. So that is another reason why they don't let us over there. Now, does the Black American have beef with the African in the diaspora? Hell no. We are very accepting people, and we don't believe in disrespecting other groups of people. Other groups have disrespected us, and they have been obsessed with us, and we love Black people. So no, Black Americans cannot understand tribalism, because they know about the Conference of Berlin, and we know how conquer divide tactics was used to actually ruin Africa. So we actually don't understand tribalism. So now that we know that tribalism is something that you want and cannot live with as Black people, the Black American is like, okay, well, we don't have no beef with nobody, but if y'all going to be very hateful for no reason like that, we don't want to be around that either. What's the point of all this kumbaya Pan-Africanism with a bunch of jealous people, with a bunch of haters? That makes no sense. With the people who won't build, people who have self-hatred and low self-esteem. You don't want to be around that, Black people. So, you want it? You got it. You said we're not African? Okay, we're not African. Bye-bye. Now, if you want to mend anything, that's on you. Because Black Americans, we're happy that Africa is not affected by that pandemic like that. We are not haters. We don't have any jealousy in our hearts where we want to see Africans, suffering from the virus. We don't. We are very glad that they have the ability to navigate the pandemic, and we want to see them thrive in Africa. We want to see it build back up. We want to see the fruits of the labor of the African be realized as far as their ingenuity, so that one day the diaspora can go back home. But we don't want the disrespect, but we don't have zero malice in our heart towards Black Africans. So now that we talked about that, I just want to cover one more point. The Black American wants their own ethnic identifier. We do not want to support people who do not support us. We do not want to rock with people who are disrespecting us. So the Black American will be recognizing their own ethnic lineage, and will be very much more gatekeeping of the culture and watching people who are not in our culture until that disrespect and hatred goes away, until we see less of it. And one of the things that has been said now that we are like, let's just embrace the 600 years that we've been here, our own culture. People are saying that, why are you taking pride in America and everything that they have done for you? And why are you, look what they did to you. But look at your country. Notice how it's okay for you to place your flags of your home country in your social media bios and everything that you do in the car, in the house. You got your flag in your life, despite the ongoing corruption, strife, and stagnation of your country. But the minute Black Americans are proud to be Black American and they're happy about their culture, y'all gotta remind Black Americans of the shortcomings of America. We're like, we not freaking aware of it, while not even residing in your own country, while residing in America. So we're not dealing with hypocrisy and craziness and lack of critical thinking like that, and lack of logic, because we could see through it now, and we're just tired of it, to be honest. Yes, we are Black American. Yes, we have a very different admixture. We have a very different culture, and so be it. Do we get everything right? No, we don't. But we are very loving people, and we are definitely Jaws people, and we are blessed, and we are definitely the chosen ones. So we don't care whether you rocking with us or not. But if you do want to amend a relationship and build genuine connections and friendships, of course, who wouldn't want that? Who doesn't want genuine connections? Who doesn't want friendship? Of course we want that. So that's up to you. As far as being friends, nothing's wrong with being friends. Nothing's wrong with dating. But we're not going to tolerate a bunch of disrespect. It just cannot happen like that. And another thing, Black American, that you need to know if you go to Africa, is that you will be seen as a foreigner. You may even be sabotaged. So you do need to stick together, and you will need to practice group economics. And you will need to study how the Chinese moved in, because it's possible that Africans will give you a harder time than Europeans and the Chinese, due to, you know what? I already showed you all the proof. So that's something that you need to know. And Africans, we really do wish the best for you in your land. And if you're even over here, we want the best for you. And this is just the way the Black American is. The Black American has lots and lots of love in a heart. So we can understand going online and seeing that crazy shit about my people. I don't understand it. I've collected it. I've been around y'all. I've eaten dinner with y'all. If I have not been around y'all, how would I know about Fataya? How would I know about Awazi, Tibbs, and Goldman if I have not been around y'all? How would I know about Yasa Poulet and Igusi and Sambusas? How would I know about that if I have not been around y'all? So I've been around various ethnic groups: Senegalese, Nigerians, Ghanaians, Ethiopians, South Africans, people from Rwanda, Congolese. I've been around all types of Africans because I used to go to the Pan-African events. I used to go to the Afropolitan parties. So don't act like I don't know. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know exactly how y'all been treating my people. I go to these Afropolitan parties. Y'all play all music. Y'all play the Black American music. Y'all know every lyric in the Black American song. And then at the party. Y'all, these black American that's craziness. So we got to do some checking around here. So look, it needed to be called out. I just got tired of it. Black Americans are very, very much tired of it. We're all aware of it. And again, the proof is in the pudding. I got more proof. I could do so many videos showing tweets and rhetoric, videos, newsletters, all types of stuff, just talking about my people. Black Americans, like just Africans, just talking about, and you cannot find the equivalent. I want y'all to find the equivalent of Black Americans talking about Africans and make videos of it. Show me, because I know for a fact, I know I have never ever met a Black American talk like how y'all be talking. I have never in my life seen anything like that in my life. Like, that is so traumatizing, because imagine having a bunch of love in your heart for Africans and for Black people, and you go and see stuff like that. Or imagine even dating an African and having to deal with that. That has happened to me. So yes, I am traumatized, and I really don't want nothing to do with y'all until y'all fix y'all ways. If y'all fix them, because whether you do or not, Black American is good. We've been here for 600 years, and we're gonna put up a fight for anybody that try to come for us and trying to take us out. We're not afraid of anybody. Yes, we got a long way to go, and we are learning more about self-love and learning even more and more about ascension and an increase in consciousness, because it is a whole new paradigm and it is a whole new energy floodgating this planet, and everybody needs to ascend their consciousness. No more childishness, no more blame game, no more self-hatred. The energy that you're going to need to tap into for 2021 and beyond is a powerful energy where you become the magician again as Black people, where you become the high scientist again as Black people, having confidence in yourself to knowing that you can change this world for the better and love on planet Earth and be in tune with nature. That's what the Black American is thinking about. That's what the average Black, I'm telling you, because I've been around my people and I know their subconscious mind. Their subconscious mind is thinking like, oh shit, stuff is about to get real with this pandemic and with, this new administration and all these things that they're trying to do with this world, and the technology that they're trying to usher in, and the programs and orders that they're trying to usher in on this planet Earth. Y'all gonna be putting up a fight. Y'all not gonna be having time to be going on social media with this Akata stuff. And y'all better study the Conference of Berlin if you know better, so you can understand what's in store for you historically with the same group of people that you've been dealing with. So that is the commencement of the Black American series. The Black American series covered the sociology, it covered the anthropology, it covered the cultural values, it covered everything that we have went through in this country for the last 600 years. And it covered everything that we ever went through. It also covered Black Americans in relation to the African diaspora, things we have been dealing with the African diaspora, in the hopes to mend that relationship. So this is the Black American. We have various splinter groups within that Black American identity, but it is a very specific term of who is a Black American, who is not. We do not want to be called African Americans anymore. We do not want other groups acting like they're Black Americans when they are not. It is a very specific historical and blood lineage. You would have had to been in this country for at least 400 to 600 years. You would have had to either been an Aboriginal, Indigenous, Indian on this land that got mixed in with the group of Africans that were brought over here in 1451. And you would have had that history of being enslaved, unfortunately, and being forced upon by said slave masters. So you would have a whole another history that is very unique to planet Earth. You're the only group to have built up the most powerful nation in the world while being disrespected and being slighted by our own government purposely. I showed you everything we went through, from Jim Crow to Black Codes to Reconstruction to World War I to World War II. We talked about the Civil War. We talked about the Revolutionary War. We talked about redlining, restrictive covenants. We talked about the Civil Rights Movement. We talked about the Black Panthers. We covered everything of the Black American. We covered all the music, the genres. We covered all of the inventions as much as possible and the time allotted. We covered the sciences. So we have done so much in this country, and the Black American has a unique culture. We covered the foods that we love, things that we like to do, things that we value, and that was very important because the Black American must know thyself. Wherever you are on the planet, every human being must know thyself and must embrace their soul blueprint. So if you cannot love your physicality, you must love your soul, because the soul never dies. The soul replenishes, and the soul is vast. So Black Americans, you must love your soul enough throughout everything that society has done to us, and all the hatred and projection that people have tried to project onto us as far as their insecurities and low self-esteem. You must understand that it has nothing to do with you, and that people who would oppress you for literally no reason are most likely threatened by you. So you must understand that your soul is powerful and to be loved and cherished, even as people try to make you feel inferior about blackness, even though we know what blackness does in relation to the sun and how the sun protects it. So never ever let nobody try to steal your crown, and never bow your head. Keep your head to the sky. And as far as the African diaspora, keep your head to the sky and learn from our history as much as possible, just like we are willing to learn from yours. Keep your head up to the sky. Be confident in yourself. And once again, you have to love your soul as well. Love your soul, because melanin is under attack, and everything that you have done, from your ingenuities, from your creations, from your artwork, has always been under attack. It's always been envied, and it's been stolen, and it has been destroyed. So in spite of all the African diaspora has went through, you must love your soul. And even though you guys have declared this imaginary beef with my people, just know that Black Americans are one of the most accepting people on this planet, and we literally have zero cognizance of hatred. And just know that we have zero malice in our heart towards the African diaspora. We want the African diaspora to thrive, because when one thrives, we all thrive. So what is the point in hating on a group of people that's doing good? Because that means that one day you'll be able to do good. They give you inspiration. They give you hope. They may even help you come up one day. So it's no point in hating on nobody. Everyone must ascend their consciousness in 2021. So Black Americans, I love you very much. I love you dearly. I think that you are an awesome group of people. You have definitely frustrated me at times. I have written books calling out things that you have done wrong, especially this gender war stuff. Even though we have our issues, I understand the vastness and the beauty in the Black American resiliency and alchemical transformation that they have embarked on through their adversity. So that to me will always be admirable, even though there are intricacies in our culture that are definitely toxic. And that go for everybody's culture. There's toxicity in everybody's culture, but for us, I only focus on us. I don't focus on other people. So Black American, please keep your head up to the sky. And I'm going to talk to y'all later. Bye.
Right? How can anyone deny these facts? Why is it immigrants are not stopping reparations?
My ancestors come from the Caribbean, and there were slaves in the Caribbean, and we didn't qualify for the American reparations. Well, here's the challenge. There are so many difficulties with trying to enact reparations, in part because the question is who gets them. Potentially, I could fall into that category. I honestly have called a pipe dream in the past, and I think that's what it is.
Well, it would be nice if there was an elegant, simple solution to all sorts of complicated problems. You're not actually talking about how to fix those problems if you're only talking about reparations. If we're only debating how we're going to parcel out responsibility for something that happened more than a century ago. And we're probably never going to do this. It's not clear to me why we're pursuing this thing.
Is it fair that there's no reparations, no restitution, nothing?
Should the Irish get reparations, by the way? Irish need not apply signs when they came here during the Progressive era. Sure. I mean, how far do we want to take this down? Are we acknowledging that there are ugly spots in history? Because 60% of the world would be entitled to slave reparations if you wanted to play that game.
Well, here's a fact. Slavery ended 154 years ago. It's been a long, long time since we had slavery in this country. And you have people like my family. I'm black, but my family came to the United States in 1962. My parents are from Costa Rica. Do I get a check?
I did a couple of essay contests that I actually won. And I won like NAACP AXO award for this essay. and something else. I can't remember another, like I ended up winning money. And the essay was, do you think black people should get reparations? And I was like, no, you didn't work for it.
Why are you so against reparations?
Valerie, it's a matter of a waste of time. We've got so much to do. And yet you have people who invest so much energy and attention on what I consider to be a dead-end idea, a dead-end movement.
If we were to pay reparations today, we would only divide the country further. We would insult many black Americans by putting a price on the suffering of their ancestors.
Immigrants are not stopping reparations.
Hello, welcome to Nakhti by J.N.S. And today I want to address some things. I really want to talk about the InSAR situation, but in relation to Black Americans, because I've seen some quite disturbing things from our brethren, our Nigerian brethren and sisters. And obviously, you know, we are just now learning about the InSAR situation. Now, Buhari has been in government for what, 40, 30 years? Since these Nigerians were babies, right? So, they just now saying something to us about it, just now tweeting about it, 2 weeks ago. Well, I'm pretty sure this has always been an issue within their atmosphere, within their community. But in the larger scheme of things, nobody really knew about the actual SARS. We knew about corruption, government corruption. Everybody knows that about Africa, that they have puppet leaders who basically impoverish their own people for Western kickbacks. I mean, we pretty much always knew that. The extent of it, we didn't know. We knew that Nigeria was pretty much high on the list for corruption, and this is just growing up, hearing them talk about it, and then just doing research, basic research. So obviously that's unfortunate, but this guy has been in office for what, 30, 40 years, and y'all just now saying something to us about it. Or just now, but that's really not the crux of what this whole video is about, because obviously I'm going to go on record saying that SARS need to end, okay? And obviously my heart goes out to all of those citizens who lost their lives just trying to protest. They were young, they felt like, that it's been bad governance for so long, and they just got tired, you get fed up. So they go out there thinking that they're going to just protest with, they're unarmed, they're not, threatening the government or nothing like that. And then they got shot the fuck up, straight up, like dead. So obviously no one wishes that on anyone. No one is turning a blind eye to that even. But I want to speak about some bullshit that I saw on Twitter. And I want to speak about this long-standing rift that y'all started with the Black Americans. And we're going to bring this to a head. I'm actually going to do a documentary on this shit because I'm just tired of it. So, I go on Twitter. I don't have a Twitter account, but I do go on there to just check shit out. I want to see the latest, tweets and shit. I go in there to go see, okay, let me go see what on a grassroots level what's going on with the InSAR, see if anybody's putting, pictures from their text, from their phones online, so I can get a sense of what's going on in Nigeria right now. So I go and do that. I type it in. And I seen this. Check this out, y'all. This is what I saw. As you can see these tweets, it say, I'm happy this InSARS happened the same year So we can see Black Americans don't care about Africans. Okay, whatever. Okay, that's one. And then there's another one that say Black Americans don't care about Africa, their so-called motherland. Nigerians under attack, Congo's under attack, and Black Americans have been quiet. They don't care about Africa. They only remember Africa when they are oppressed. Black America is actually the worst kind of black people on earth. Very selfish lot. So, okay, so I go and see this craziness. And it leads me to say that for a while, I've actually been saying crazy, speaking reckless on my tribe for no fucking reason. Not only that, we never asked y'all to protest for us. We never went and begged y'all for shit. Like, for the last 500 years, we've been on our own. With the exception of, I think Ghana offered some stuff for us, some land grants and stuff, and even that was hard to get, but it was a dual citizenship thing. But for the last 500 years, we've been thinking it out by ourselves. For the most part. When have y'all ever spoke out? Just with the exception of the George Floyd shit, which we didn't ask for. When have y'all ever really been there for the Black American? In fact, I could show you nothing but a bunch of tweets of y'all ragging on us for literally no reason. So, if you want to know why the quote-unquote Black American has not been speaking out on y'all behalf, let's take a look to Exhibit A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Let's go. So, all you gotta do is just type in Black Americans and NSARS, and you're gonna see some crazy ass shit. It says, I call Black Americans dark white because it takes you to be African to be truly black. So, why should we be protesting NSARS again? This one. Black Americans are more racist than whites. When it was George Floyd, we all went out to support you in a protest. Today it's Africa's turn and y'all turn a deaf ear. Time holds all the secrets. That was only... What are y'all talking about? For one, y'all only show support one time with George Floyd, which we didn't ask. We didn't beg for Nigerians to protest for us. Y'all did that on your own. And y'all never had our backs. And I'm going to show how y'all didn't. Now, this thing right here, we didn't know about. When we saw in SARS, we thinking about the fucking COVID stuff. We thinking about literally in the disease that's going around here. That's literally what everybody thought. Then, y'all governments have been destabilized for a long time by you know who. So why y'all not going after the Western powers? Why y'all picking on the descendant of the A word that y'all love to use and the slaves and all that? Why y'all coming at our necks and not turning that attention to the actual governments who have had a hand in plundering our resources and stealing our resources and putting the puppet leaders in place? What do we gotta do with that? And why are y'all begging other groups of people to validate your protest and your fight? That's the thing about the difference between us. We respect all black groups. Black Americans don't have a problem with nobody. We're pretty much a very accepting people. We pretty much love everybody. If you black, we see you as a distant family. Culture may be different. Yeah, we may have like some nuance and ignorance on a couple things about the culture and say some ignorant things when we're kids. But for the most part, you can't go on Twitter and see the level of disrespect that y'all show us in these tweets. And these tweets are just literally nothing. Like when I say I got at least 100,000 of these tweets, because I've been collecting evidence for 3 years, because I've been planning on doing a documentary about this shit, because it's literally, you can't find the equivalent. Now that we see how reckless y'all are at the mouth, now we said, okay, let's make our own ethnicity and let's pretty much separate ourselves from the rest of the diaspora, because they literally came over here, voluntarily came to a racist country where black Americans fought in the 1960s during the civil rights era to get the immigration quota status banned for Africans. Before 1960s, when was y'all allowed to come over here? Let's be real. And it correlates directly with the civil rights bill when black Americans said, okay, that's not right that y'all don't let the Africans come over. Get rid of that status quo shit. I mean, not that quota stuff. Get rid of that. And they did. And then y'all was able to floodgate. And then they put a stop on who actually get to come over, because they got tired of dealing with Marcus Garvey's and Stokely Carmichael type niggas and the other, they didn't want no Thomas Sankaras bringing their ass over here. So they started vetting exactly who can come over here as far as your state of consciousness towards your own blackness. So they only was making sure that pretty much only self-hating blacks was able to come over here. We now know that. So in 1960s, my ancestors, my people said, get rid of that quota to get y'all over here. Got bit by dogs, bled, death, all types of crazy shit, lynchings, Jim Crow, redlining, Reconstruction laws, black codes, built this whole entire country, and we not sweating that, you know, because we'll do it again if we fucking need to. My thing is, y'all voluntarily came over to this country, and y'all got the nerve to want to look down on someone when y'all didn't get it popping in y'all own shit. If that was the case, if y'all was so much, as y'all say, we these lost Akatas and all this stuff, if we was so that, why y'all over here in the land that my ancestors built? Like, what is y'all, like, this makes no sense. And as I'm going through these tweets, look at these tweets. When I say I got over 100,000, like, we are in underground groups with Black Americans discussing this type of shit. Because it's like, what the hell did we ever do? Didn't we ask y'all? Y'all said, when we was kids, y'all said we was the African booty scratcher. Do you know that African Americans, Black Americans was calling themselves, each other's African booty scratcher? If I'm lying, I'm flying. I was called that. I was called an African booty scratcher. I was called that. I said that to other Black American. Not no African, other Black American. We were saying that to each other as a joke. After 3rd grade, no one used it anymore. We grew up to calling motherfucker and cussing and saying all this stuff and all the other reckless nonsense that kids do. It was kid shit. Nobody was really thinking about y'all. That's why when you go on Twitter and you type in Black Americans, Africans, do you see any Black Americans saying anything? Oh, those Africans, oh, they do, oh, they did this. Oh, you always see like random. Look at these. Look, I'm gonna show you. If I'm lying, why did it say this? Why I say this? Even though I want Afro Nation Miami, I don't want any African Americans there. Okay, boom. Let's see. I hate how ghetto Black Americans speak. So uneducated, like they've been ghosts from school since they were 8 years old. Okay, that's random as hell. Go and type this stuff in. Like, Black Americans are the white people, the entire African diaspora. Do you see the equivalent of this going on Twitter, or just period? Or how y'all like to say y'all parents had that talk with y'all about not fucking with us? We never asked for y'all to. We mind our own business. We are a very resilient group, and anything that you have thrown at anybody have thrown at us, we've been pretty much able to survive it. So we're not checking for no. If y'all fuck with us, we cool. You know, we a cool, chill people. But we don't have no hatred in our heart for like that, like how y'all do. Look at this: Africans versus Black Americans. Look at this tweet by whoever this is. Only Akata think it's an accomplishment to graduate from high school. What is that about? Things African parents never say. You can marry an Akata. That's random as hell. We not thinking about y'all. Why are y'all writing about this? If you marry a stupid Akata, you have no one to blame but yourself. Once again, why is that a whole hashtag? Why are we on your mind? We're not thinking about you. Then y'all want to say y'all not protesting in SARS? Do you not see this crazy ass hashtag? Did we ask for this? Which y'all upset about the African booty scratcher? Y'all not even, these people are probably in their homeland. They not even over here to even experience even the quote unquote bullying that y'all claim y'all receive. When kids bully each other like it's nothing. That's just the nature of kids. So why are y'all on Twitter coming up with these crazy ass hashtags and then wanting to come and then asking for us to protest for y'all? Y'all make no sense. Look at this. There's the definition of the word Akata. This is a Yoruba word. Now let's look at this. Black Americans are not Africans. Beyonce won't and can't be given the Mama African title. When did she ask for it? What the hell are y'all talking about? Once again, you can't see the equivalent of Black Americans doing this to y'all. Why? Because we be working our 9 to 5s, doing what we gotta do, thinking, making some music, thinking about some other shit. We don't have time for this. We're not, like, y'all want to say that Black American got a slave mentality. This is Willie Lynch right here. This right here, you don't see us do. because we have our own issues. I'm not saying we're a perfect group of people, but we have transcended this level of ignorance and fuckery. You cannot go on Twitter and find the equivalence. What you do find is Black Americans saying, hey, let's separate from these people. Let's do the ADOS, the FBA, the OBA, the CAFALME, the original Black American, foundational Black American, American descendant of slavery, American descendants, all this stuff, original Black, all this stuff that you see now as far as developing their own ethnic origin, their own ethnicity under their own flag, under their own tenets and culture, because they realize like, yo, like we was doing this Pan-African shit, talking about the Kwame Nkrumah, the Patrice Lumumba's, the Thomas Sankaras, and all these other great revolutionaries, and thinking that we're all going to be one, and we're all going to one day be able to conquer the oppression that we're under and be able to build up ourselves again and our systems again. And the realization is that y'all literally are vying to be, I hate to say this, but vying to be like the pet Negro, like who gets the Scooby snack, where we are kind of beyond that. We kind of like, we got to be self-determined in some sense, and we kind of got to look within into ourselves to get up out of this situation, where y'all kind of like, if I throw the Black American under the bus, then Westerners will see that I'm not a threat, and they will one day probably give me a job or whatever little weird shit y'all got thinking on in your head. Like, I don't even know what that's all about, but clearly you can see these tweets. If I'm lying, why could I? These tweets are nothing. Like, when I say this, when I say I collected so much evidence, I collected evidence of you Nigerians writing our president about us, like literally ambassadors writing our president, trying to say that we don't want to cause no trouble and we just want to do this, we want to work, and we're unlike them. And I have that evidence. I have that's literally posted on a fucking embassy's website. I took that. I got all types of documents on y'all. So for a long time, y'all have been doing this crazy shit. I collected it and put it in a folder to do my documentary on. And not only that, I've been around y'all. I've literally at sometimes been the only Black American around y'all, and I've seen how y'all think. Like, it could be just a random situation, because they won't know necessarily my ethnicity until I talk. But then there's Nigerians that also sound American because they're first generation or second generation, so they don't really know why I'm there, or that I might be the only African American there. So we in a party or whatever, or at an event, or just amongst each other, and out of nowhere we supposed to be dancing and shaking and drinking and whatever, and y'all bring up Black Americans out of nowhere. Yeah, those Black Americans, they so ghetto, ain't they? Oh, what? Like, what did I gotta do with anything? Like, yeah, those Okadas could never compete with our dancing. They're not even thinking about us. I'm a Black American, by the way. So it's like, what the hell? Like, when I say that it's illogical, it's irrational, it obviously is some deep-rooted insecurity within yourself that y'all trying to project onto my tribe, to my group of people who literally have no hatred in their heart towards you. Even as I'm saying this and showing you all this stuff, I have no hatred. I find it, to be honest, quite disturbing. I find it to be more of a reflection of yourself than it does of my group of people, because I know you cannot find us saying, you can't find the same tweet saying, if you marry a Nigerian, if you marry a Yoruba, if you marry a Igbo, you can't find that shit, because we don't care about that. That's stupid. That's petty. That is beneath us as a people. I'm not trying to, look, it is what it is. You can't find nothing of that nature. Look at these tweets. If you marry this stupid things, you can't see something like things Black American parents never say. You can't find that on Twitter or on social media, period. Why? Because our parents, for one, don't talk like that. They thinking about some other shit. So y'all wanted to start this beef, and again, if y'all want me to go in, I could bring out all these documents. You know why I didn't? Because I actually showed them. Again, I was in an underground forum, and it was some Nigerians and Black Americans. We were talking amongst each other, and when I put this shit out there, I said, "What the fuck is all this about?" And they said, "That's bullshit." They were the ones that, not Black Americans, but the Nigerians were like, "I apologize for this. This is a disgrace. This is not how we think. I'm embarrassed about this shit. I'm disturbed by this shit. and it's disgusting. So it was them saying that made me wait on my fucking documentary. I just chilled. I said, okay, because it's not everybody. And I don't think it's everybody. I just think it's enough to where y'all gotta look at your own shit. Y'all gotta look at the mirror. Y'all gotta look at the man in the mirror. Just like how we had to for 500 years, and ain't nobody fuck with us. For 500 years, the Black American had to look themselves in the mirror as to why we got in a situation, how we got in a situation, and what can we do to get out of it. And we still struggling. But we are resilient, and we can see the promised land. At this point, we're not trying to cuddle up under Western pedagogy and under Caucasians to accept us and to validate our movements and our beings in essence anymore. Because it's like, look, we can't get no shake. We've been here for 500 years. We've been around them for 500 years, and we damn near part mixed with them. We good. We get it. Y'all don't get that. Y'all don't understand that. And my thing is, at this point, we got to set this record straight once and for all, because it's like, what is this beef really about? Y'all asking us to do the End SARS protest and march for End SARS protest. I don't know if y'all if this is, some sort of sick infatuation, or it's like, do y'all really got love in y'all heart for us? Because y'all claim y'all did all this George Floyd stuff, which we never asked for, but y'all said y'all went and protested, and where we at? Why do you think that we would protest after seeing this crazy ass shit on these tweets that I'm showing you? Why do you think that we would honestly go and say, okay, let's do it, after you just said there's things that if you marry stupid Akata and what's all this other stuff right here, only an Akata think it's an accomplishment to graduate from high school. Okay, so why we gotta do in SARS? Okay, let's keep going. I can't believe I just read a thread where Freeborn is arguing he shares the same legacy as a descendant of a slave. Africans, please do better. Again, why do you want us to protest your NSAR shit after disrespecting us like that? If the Black Americans are the white people, the entire African diaspora, like y'all said, like this tweet right here, why do y'all want us to protest for y'all then? Make it make sense. Y'all take our culture. Y'all literally come over, want to talk like this, want to talk, use our our vernacular, want to dress like us, want to go to our same institutions, our schools, whether they HBCUs or PWIs that my ancestors literally built with their hands. What the hell is really about? Like to me, is mind-boggling, because all I'm thinking of is, I don't have no issues in my heart towards any group of people in the diaspora. No Jamaican, Haitian, nobody. Like zero. All I think of, like, oh, let's get up together, let's hang out, let's learn from each other, let's have a good time, let's have some drinks or whatever, eat some good food, watch movies. I don't know, I don't care. But this is what, in my mind, is what I'm thinking about. If whoever is black is around, let's try to make it work. And let's, because a lot of us have that love in our heart. So to see this crazy ass shit, and I'm telling you, I have not shown y'all the real nails in the coffin, which I know I can make my people literally turn against y'all in one night if I wanted to. And you would never hear from them again with the shit that I got. I showed it one time on an underground scene. The Black Americans, that was enough for them. But Nigerians was like, look, this ain't what it is. I don't know who wrote that crazy ass shit. I don't know what's going on. This is not what we do, and this is not how we are. This is embarrassing. So when I saw that, I said, okay, it's good to know that it's not like that. But again, for the last 3 years, all I've been seeing is the same bullshit. Again, you cannot find the equivalent tweets from Black Americans. Y'all governments, here's the thing, y'all gotta focus on y'all own shit. Let me be clear here. And here's another reason why for one, all Black Americans are aware of this, just so you know. We all know about this Akata stuff and these tweets. All of us. So that's the reason why we are not protesting in SARS, if you want to know. Do we have compassion? Do we think that what you're going through is just? Of course we have compassion. Of course, no, it's unsettling to see what's going on over there. For one thing, y'all just now saying something about Bahari when the nigga been in there for 40 years. y'all know what was going on this whole time. And another thing, even if y'all not say y'all using the NSARS as a smokescreen for the government, but really y'all really just tired of both. So, but the police is an extension of that, what y'all going through. So, obviously, there's compassion there for that, because a lot of innocent people have not done anything to deserve their treatment, nor have they even said anything about Black Americans. So it is the elites that's not even the elites, but it's the ones that's allowed to come over here, because they're vetting certain Africans to make sure that they have a European mindset. They don't want anyone radical coming over here. They don't want anyone that can think for themselves coming over here. So they make sure that y'all pretty much willing to throw you gotta be willing to throw your own under the bus, not just Black Americans, but your own. You gotta have very low self-esteem. Like, it's all, I've been around y'all, I've seen it, and I was very disturbed by the level of low self-esteem. I was very disturbed by the level of jealousies of each other. Like, that shit is disturbing. It is. It is. And then y'all think that we can't pick up on it. Then y'all think we can't pick up on that shit that's going on in y'all country. Y'all want to come over here, act like y'all so much better, and look down when y'all, man, if I could really rag down on y'all if I wanted to, because y'all have no idea how much I have researched pretty much a lot of these African countries, because I wanted to know which one got the best infrastructure so that we could go back home and we could go help build camaraderie and make amends and help the land, actually, not just go over there to take, but to see how can you contribute, because that's how the African American thinks. Now, in y'all homelands, y'all got a lot of shit going on. I seen that damn open sewage and stuff, and the systems of the toilets and all that stuff, and the water and the septic tanks and all. We know about all of that. Now, do we judge you? Are we judging Africans? No, because we understand there's some things going on, and there's some. It's systematically set up where if you try to develop Africa, the people who do try, they would get run off or they would get killed. So there's some very much crazy shit going on over there. Y'all want to call us the slaves. Y'all pretty much, it's a plantation over there too, whether you want to admit it or not. Y'all think we don't know about a lot of the infrastructure over there, and we do. And particularly in Nigeria, we know what the hell was going on over there. Y'all didn't get it popping like how we seen the universities, we seen a lot of how this stuff is looking, and how it could be a lot more developed. Now, are we saying that you're not developed? No, we are not. We are saying that, unfortunately, due to a lot of corruption, there has not been investment into the people of Nigeria and building up their own people. So there's a lot of brain drain. That means that the best and the brightest, they leave, or the ones with the money, they leave, and they go to the Western nations and help build their nations up. And then sometimes they go back and help. Sometimes they do have the mind to help. Sometimes they're so embarrassed and they so self-hating that they don't help at all. We know that as well. So how y'all gonna look down on us? Then y'all coming over here to the land that was built by the Black Americans. Y'all could say it wasn't built. When we came over here, it was wilderness. When Black Americans arrived in 1690, 1619, and then mind you, there was already Native Americans of African descent, the Melungeons, who were also over here in 1526 and before for the last couple of thousand years, actually, that had migrated. They were originally from Africa, but they had been here when Christopher Columbus arrived. So we have both of those, and they enslaved those people and mixed us all up. Simple as that. And so when we got here, there was just nothing here. It was just woods and sticks and gravel. And yes, my people was enslaved and forced to build all of these things up. So of course we were forced to, but we still built this shit up under force and derision, of course. So obviously, no one is saying that we have any ownership in this stuff. We're not delusional like that, but we know that our ancestors' blood is in the ground and that they've done a lot to build this country up. And another thing, Black Americans have most of the inventions that you guys are using over here. 3,500 patents to be exact. African Americans, your air conditioner, your refrigerator, your bed frame, your elevator, your pacemakers, your genetic medications. Those were all started by Black American people. It's descended of slavery. The clock was started by Benjamin Banneker. That is a descendant of slavery. Pretty much any of your common eight patents to the computer. by Mark Dean. That's a Black American. Also, your touchscreen, that was invented by a Black American woman named Sheila Washington. She invented call forwarding and the voicemail. That's a Black American's invention. Your filament in your light bulb, that is a Black American's invention by Lewis Lattimore. Your fucking sewing machine, that was the patent to that was owned by a Black American. Y'all got this whole thing fucked up. And I can name again, there's 3,500. If I want to sit here and just rag on and just really talk my shit about my people and say name all 3,500 inventions that we came up with that's owned in the patent, you can look this shit up under USPTO, which is United States Patent and Trademark Office, and see who owns this shit and go and look them up, and they are Black American descendant of slave. So y'all want to come at my people, try to act like we just ain't shit and do. Of course you're gonna get propaganda on us. Of course they're gonna try to make it seem like we all criminals and all this stuff. Y'all fell for that? Okay, they showed y'all living in huts and showed y'all eating a bowl of porridge all day and not being able to build y'all shit up. Was that true? No. So why y'all gotta believe this shit about us? Cause you want to. Again, I can go on and on about all this shit that we invented in this country that we are still using worldwide, that gets imported, that gets mass produced or whatever. And this is the thanks we get. This is how, again, we already made our peace with how the Europeans treat us. We not sweating them because we not checking for them. It is what it is. That relationship has been severed. We don't expect no kumbaya. We kind of like, okay, we get the point now. It's been 500 years. I think we should both just go our separate ways to keep it moving. Daps to you. Okay, let's just see what we can do on our own for now. So we're not in that state of consciousness where it's like we're vying for like this position, or like, oh, we got to get this validation or approval, or we're not looking for that. So that's why you don't see a lot of us trying to be competitive with Africans, because we don't see y'all as competition. I'm not trying to be funny. It's just like we just passed all of that. We want peace. We want to live in peace as Africans, and we want Africans to live in peace. We want everybody safe and sound on this planet Earth. So we don't have time to be, what they doing over there? They think they, okay. What, third grade African booty scratch? Okay, we was calling all each other that. So what the fuck is the big deal? But we don't have no equivalent tweets, no equivalent hashtags. And if you marry a stupid Akata, it is so long, that hashtag. Like, I just showed y'all a couple of tweets. That shit is like mad long. Like, it's like thousands of random ass Nigerians saying this craziness. We do not think about y'all. Y'all are like literally a non-factor in our lives. And we do wish y'all the best. And we can say that y'all have gifts, but we know our gifts too. And we not thinking like, one is better than the other, or you have to have the confidence in yourself. And that's a problem. Y'all have this false confidence that's riddled in the massive oppression of the people that's going on in y'all country. So y'all want to come over here and act like we don't know that shit, because y'all know that a lot of Black Americans, we don't be checking what's going on over there. So y'all could really try to dig it up on some coming to America shit and try to, make it seem like y'all all princes or whatever. But for the intellects of our group, such as myself, we know the real deal, and we could see right through that false confidence. And your true confidence comes from not comparing yourself to other people. It doesn't come from feeling like deriving your self-worth based on what other people are doing. And y'all gotta understand that. Y'all really, really gotta understand that. And that go for my people too. Like your sense of self-worth and confidence, it comes from within, and understanding your inherent value as a human being. Feeling that you know that you are worthy. You know that you are valuable. And y'all say that y'all believe that, but y'all don't. Because y'all wouldn't be doing all this skin bleaching and all this craziness and Akata this, Akata. Well, random tweets. Those Black Americans are doing this. Well, okay. Y'all should be thinking about Afro beats and jollof rice and doing y'all thing. And while y'all eating y'all jollof rice and eating Afro and listening to Afro beats, y'all supposed to be partying and having a good time. Next thing you know, those Black Americans, they think they ain't gonna ever be able to cook. They think they gonna compete with us. They think, just random out of nowhere. I've seen this with my own eyes, and I got evidence of it. These little tweets I'm showing y'all is nothing. I can literally show you where it'll just be a random tweet. I went to the mall today and I went to go get me a nice outfit. And those Akata women, they can never ever compare with our outfit. What? That's random as fuck. Like, that's weird. That's weirdo shit to us now. Because there's so much evidence of it, and that it's been collected and documented. Not just me, but we all been kind of like, we gotta collect this shit because all these niggas gonna do is lie and say they ain't doing it. Because that's how black people do. When we call y'all on shit, y'all like to lie and say y'all never said the shit. So here we go. Explain this. That's how we do. Explain why you spent all this time coming up with these weird ass hashtags. Explain it. So this is what this is all about. Y'all think we don't know what the hell this is about? This is about jealousy. That's envy and jealousy. Y'all covet the black Americans' resilience. We've been taking an ass beating for 500 years and we still ain't letting up. We got swag, we kind of arrogant, and we think we the shit. But we also think all of y'all is the shit. We think Africa is the shit. We don't, and then y'all, that love that we have in our heart, y'all don't understand how y'all that damn pro-black and all that loving melanin and loving all that stuff, when y'all supposed to be the slaves. We was the freemen, but we got y'all got fucked up too in y'all countries. Y'all think we don't know about colonialization and them civil wars and shit, hacking off each other's breasts and hacking off all types of arms and legs and stuff? Y'all think we don't know about that? Come on, we knew about the Biafran civil war that y'all was doing over there in Nigeria. I've seen those pictures of nothing but black kids piled up in a ditch, life out of them. Why y'all do that? What the fuck? Now, is it all y'all know? But why y'all not focused on that? Why y'all not tweeting about that? That's weird. That shit, I saw that before this NSAR stuff, and I threw up. I said, the level of self-hatred that you would have for yourself to do that to each other. Y'all always would say, well, black Americans, y'all do the gang banging. They show y'all that shit on purpose. Do you really think that all of us is doing that shit? It's about 5% that's doing this gang shit. But if you notice, you don't never see black Americans doing that treacherous, torturous, crazy shit to each other over here. I have seen videos of the SARS stuff or whoever these black men were. I don't even think they were. I just think it was random black Nigerians tying another black man up and putting him over a roasted fire. Like you know how you put a pig over a roasted fire? Had him over. This video got 6 million views. If I'm lying, go check it out right now. He on a roasted fire and they turning it, and they like literally torturing him, laughing and sticking his head with all types of stuff. You ain't never seen no black American do that. Why can't I just pull some shit up like that? Why can't I pull photos in your country with kids in ditches piled up on each other because of the Biafran Civil War stuff? Why can I find that kind of stuff? And y'all want to call yourself calling us out of our names? Are y'all crazy? Like all of this crazy, like the torture that bones is sticking out. Black people doing that to each other over there. That shit is crazy. And no, I don't agree with it. I find it horrific that black people would do that to each other over there in their own country. And their own, what the amount of self-hatred you would have to think it's okay to take another black person and put them on a fire roasted pit and turn them like they a damn rotisserie chicken. That to me is insane. I seen that. That is up right now in Nigeria. And y'all want to dog us out, then say come protest. That's crazy. I think that this should be a learning lesson to y'all to be more humble, for one, and to be more righteous in your heart. Like let go of that hate, like let this hatred that y'all have for us. I'm showing. I swear, if y'all want me to go and get my documents and really rag on y'all, and y'all say prove all this stuff, I can prove the craziest stuff that's way more crazier than this. This I showed was lightweight. This ain't nothing. So what I'm saying is, please look within and start self-reflecting. Like the black American, we've had to self-reflect. We've known that we did a lot of foolish mistakes. We did a lot of foolish things in our time in America. Thinking that we can get a piece of this pie and thinking that not validating ourselves and looking for validation and approval and acceptance from the dominant society. We did a lot of foolish things. And we're learning from that. That's why we getting rid of all of the sellouts. We don't want no self-haters among us. We don't want none of that. Because we know we got to figure it out. We know the time is coming where The tribe of Judah has to arise, and there is no other group of people that's going to validate us. When that stuff started happening with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, we did not ask the whole world to stop like that and to come out. We didn't. If you notice, we never asked anyone to go protest for us. We didn't ask France to do that. We didn't ask Australia, UK, all those protests that was going on. Black Americans never asked anyone to do that for us. We did that on our own because we knew, for one, it's time. It's 2020, and we knew that it was just ridiculous. It was egregious. So we showed this raw emotion. But we never asked no one to do shit. All them white people that came out in Oregon and Portland and Cali and all that stuff, and in New York City, all them white people that was out doing the Black Lives Matter stuff, that honestly we felt that it was kind of like, where did y'all come from and why are y'all here? We was not happy that happened. We was kind of like, we need to focus on ourselves, because again, when we do a lot of, which you have to understand politics, you have to start following these movements from history. Anytime we have wanted to do any sort of self-determination, here they come with this basically a sabotaging thing, where they sabotage every movement, neutralize every movement, and infiltrate it. And then it's pretty much, if you notice, there's no Black Americans that even follow Black Lives Matter. Like, no one takes Black Lives Matter serious because of the engine that it took. We're talking about as an organization, not as an idea, as a concept, but as an organization. None of us are taking that shit serious, and we actually are dealing with a lot of stuff because our group is getting more radicalized. Y'all are not. So y'all getting kind of scared, like, y'all gonna ruin our little biscuits. Y'all gonna ruin the little job. Come on now, because now they're restricting visas and all that stuff. They were gonna restrict visas anyways. When I say that, to say that as a people, this just gotta stop. I mean, it's ridiculous. You dogged us for all these years. You said don't do this, y'all cotters, y'all lazy, y'all don't clean, and da. You voluntarily came over to this country to use most of our resources, our benefits, not use, but benefit off of the resources that our ancestors have created for the entire system that is America. That can be literally proven with the 1960s Civil Rights Bill, and that can be proven with the actual quota immigration stats of what actually transpired after the 1960s, after Africa was allowed to come over here, Africans rather. So this is just disturbing, to say the least. Now, to me, I find the concept of like all of this begging Africans don't care about us, African Americans, Black Americans don't say nothing about our protests. I find that weird because, again, y'all should really be focusing on y'all own government and ending the situation that's going on there. So like, we should not even be in the equation. For one, you know, it's only 40 million of us, right? Do you know it's 200 million Nigerians? So why are y'all focused on a group of fucking Americans that are oppressed in America? Black Americans, we only are 45 million strong, 40 to 45 million strong. There's 200 million of y'all, though. Mind you, it's 1.3 billion in Africa. There's 54 countries in Africa. Why y'all not ragging on the other 54 countries and the other 53 countries in Africa? The Cote d'Ivoire, the Senegal, Mauritius, Mauritania, Togo, Benin, Chad, Cameroon, Tanzania. South Africa? Why y'all not going after them? Burundi. What the hell? Ghana. Rwanda. Why y'all not Kenya? Why y'all not calling on them? Why y'all not calling them out? Kenyans out. Why y'all focused on the Black Americans? Because we got the most clout. Now I see what y'all doing, because y'all hoping that we ride for y'all can ride our coattail off of our clout. And I'm sorry, but no. And we would have had y'all not spent all them years fucking disrespecting us. I showed y'all them tweets, and this is a fact. We would have definitely rolled out, because we riders and we love our people. But y'all sitting up there doing all this disrespectful ass shit. Y'all disrespectful as hell, and I've been around y'all in person. So sorry to say, but I try to get my people. I say, what we gonna do about NSARS? They said nothing. I said, well, it's not right that it's going on like that. You know, we gotta say something. No, we don't. and they show me them crazy ass texts and them tweets and all this stuff. I said, oh, I remember that. I forgot about it. I honestly just stopped thinking about it. And then when I saw that shit again, it made me upset. I'm like, yo, y'all right. I'm not gonna I'm gonna say that I don't like what's going on in Nigeria with NSARS, and I don't want Nigerian people to experience those kind of traumas and those type of treatment. I'm gonna say that, and many of my people do think that, but they not about to go out on a whim and go all crazy protesting for y'all after y'all to pull this Akata shit, and after all these crazy ass tweets and hashtags that y'all started. No, absolutely not. And if you say I could show you your celebrities, the Lovey girl. I could show you all like random ass the girl that created Lovecraft. Her calling them Akatas and random, like not even having any viable reason. Like it's just weird. It's weird as hell. And I'm gonna tell you. You said a lot of y'all say, well, "What we jealous of?" I'm gonna tell you what. For 500 years. Now here how it go. Y'all know good and hell well that y'all sold us out 500 years ago for the most part. So a lot of them slaves came from Nigeria, close to 60 to 80%. So a lot of the black Americans that you see walking around here now are a direct descendant of that landmass as far as the same haplogroup. A lot of y'all know that subconsciously. You may not consciously know it, but you know it. Same with Ghana. So Ghana, mind you, it wasn't any borders back then. So Ghana and Nigerians, they share that same haplogroup. Same with the Senegalese. It's EM2. I think Senegalese is a bit different, and the Fulani is a bit different. But for the most part, like the Yoruba, the Igbo, and all that, and what's the Ghanaians over there, they pretty much have the same like EM2 haplogroup. Just happens to match the African Americans that's over here. So pretty much y'all know what y'all was doing. Yeah, not y'all, but the ancestors. The ancestors was over through the Queen Mothership and wanted to get into slave deals with the trade deals with Portuguese and the European, the Dutch and the British and all that stuff. So they figured, for rum and muskets and all these other things, we'll give you our rivals. We'll tell you how to infiltrate, teach you how to infiltrate our rivals. Same thing happened in Congo too. So y'all was selling your own people for resources and materialism, and y'all did 3% was actually of the royal class. No lie, that's a fact. 3% were actual rival kings and queens, and a lot of commoners and soldiers. You had to get rid of the soldiers first because they were the protectors. So you had to, literally, that's what was going on there. And a lot of this was orchestrated by black men, and unfortunately, it was. That's just the truth. And I know that gets a lot of people upset. So, y'all thought, aha, y'all going with these weird ass foreigners, and y'all going to be wiped out. Y'all, 500 years ago, when this stuff was going on, those ancestors thought for sure that we would eventually go extinct. The tribe of Judah, because they did pick certain tribes to go, and it wasn't just so much about weakness or intellect or anything, because they were pretty much brilliant. I told you about Benjamin Banneker, who created the first almanac. Was a black American, but he was born of a slave, and I could show there's so many brilliant African Americans. That's not even up for debate. Like, that's just stupidity. So I didn't sell the quote unquote weaklings like I thought. A lot of this was of royal bloodline. A lot of this was of rival tribes and just general fuckery, jealousy, rifts, annoyances, vie for power, greed, and materialism. That's pretty much all it was. But y'all also thought we get rid of the tribe of Judah, which I could prove this with maps. I already actually saw the maps of what was going on back then, because they're in museums. And y'all just knew that we was about to be gone forever. Like literally, those ancestors thought for a fact that we would be wiped out eventually. At least 1 or 2 generations. It ceased to exist, that bloodline, those bloodlines. So this is what happened, as we know. Come 500 goddamn years later, these niggas still around. Y'all descendants of those ancestors, and y'all, the ancestors is in us. They in our cell memory DNA consciousness. So y'all could feel them inside of y'all, and that rage come out, because it's like, y'all still fucking here. Not only that, it's like, we popping. We have 3,500 inventions. We have the best athletes. We have the best musicians. We created most of the dances. We created the genres of music, R&B, jazz, hip-hop, rap, country, rock and roll, neo-soul. Black Americans created that. Most of the hot dances, Black Americans created that. Everybody copies off of our music. Everybody wants to dress like us and talk like us. That shit got y'all hot. And it's not you. It's not your consciousness. It's your ancestors within that consciousness. It's the cell memory consciousness of the ancestors that jump out. Just like ours jump out. Ours jump out, and just like it's just how it is. It's subconscious. So that hatred and all that going on Twitter, and these Akatas, they don't marry stupid Akata. Black Americans, they don't do this. They lazy. Oh, that rage, that out of nowhere. That's coming out of, that's what I mean by that jealousy. Y'all thought for a fact, y'all pissed that we these descendant of slaves and we still popping. And we still here after 500 years of all the shit that we took, all them lynchings and all that getting burnt alive and all that craziness. We still here. And we still popping, and we still love ourselves, and we about to pop even more because it's 2020 and God has told us that it's time. So y'all don't know what to do because y'all suffered a fate after y'all called yourself selling us out. Y'all didn't pop after that. All of Africa got colonized and all their resources stolen and plummeted. Y'all didn't pop after that. Y'all was supposed to be this Wakanda because that was a karmic lesson. That was a karmic lesson to learn. You don't sell each other out. Y'all still want to do that shit. Y'all still got that spirit in y'all. And that's what God is trying to get us to get out of that shit. All of this self-hatred. Ugh, it's disgusting to me. I have literally thrown up behind the self-hatred that I see in black people. And to be honest, it has not been in my own people as I thought it would. It is. They self-hating asses too. But I have been shocked to see the amount of self-hatred in Africans because I thought that they would have more confidence, but they don't. And that's shocking to me. Because we've been under nothing but white people. Black Americans we're a minority. We are what they claim 13% of the population. I personally don't believe that, but that's not here for debate. So 80% of what's around us is white. So y'all would think our confidence, which we do have confidence issues. But when I'm around y'all, I'll be looking like, what the hell? I'll be lifting y'all up. And I got the text messages to prove it. I be telling y'all, y'all be walking around with your heads down wearing these 26-inch weaves and a bunch of freaking skin bleaching and all this weird stuff on. We be looking like, what the hell? And have to tell y'all that y'all beautiful and all this stuff, and that the African is so brilliant and all that. That be African Americans talking like that. My people saying that to y'all. And you would think it's the other way around, but no, because the only thing you think of doing is going on Twitter and making them crazy ass hashtags and talking about calling us out of our name for no fucking reason. As a grown adult, not as a kid, as a grown adult. So, I mean, it's quite disturbing. So that's where the hatred come from, because the audacity of a group of people that got sent to their death by our ancestors, slave, them Bavioti niggas that call theyself, we gonna get rid of the tribe of Judah, we gonna get rid of King Alphonse, all these other niggas that we don't rock with, get rid of them, sell them. And y'all do that stuff now with each other. So y'all been doing that. That's just nothing. That's why in our eyes that's treachery and that's disgusting to the Black American, because it's like, that's just going too far. Yeah, you might hate on somebody a little bit in the African American culture or whatever, but you ain't seeing us taking old niggas and putting them on a roasted fire stick and chopping their legs off and their arms off and all that weirdo stuff. Like, that would never happen. But I can literally pull up pictures of that stuff going on in y'all country, straight up. And then y'all gonna come over here and look down? Y'all better tell y'all parents. I know y'all culture is based off of hierarchy where y'all not allowed to talk back to y'all elders and not allowed to say shit to y'all parents. But y'all better break that shit in this generation with that nonsense. Because you can't, here's the thing, you can't be blessed as a people when you play dirty or when you have that hatred in your heart. It's very hard to be to build and to realize your own potential and ingenuity as a people. So that's why it's in your best interest to value yourself, to value to truly value yourself, not looking at other groups of people and trying to pick on them and pick them apart. Value yourself, because you value yourself, your shit won't be looking like that. And that's the self-reflection phase that we are in as a people. The same thing with the Black American. We're in a state of value yourself, and we're self-reflect on what do we do wrong and how can we avoid this situation from happening again. So here's the crux of what you need to know. If you want to mend this shit, we good with it. If you want bygones to be bygones, and you want to stop making these crazy ass tweets, and you show us show us your soul. We are genuine people. Black people are emotional. Black Americans, we are emotional people, and we value authenticity. If you haven't studied our culture, you need to. We value authenticity. That's why in hip hop, we judge everybody has a litmus test of hip hop. I'm not talking about that bullshit, on a radio, but historically, everything has been measured by the authenticity of our leaders, the authenticity of our writing, of our skill sets, of just who we are. It is a value. That's why we always say, keep it 100, keep it G, keep it real, keep it 100. I keeps it real. You always hear Black Americans saying that, I keep it real, because that's a part of the authenticity factor of it. Now this might be a ghetto way of saying it, I keep it G, but keep it authentic, keep it real. So that's what we think and value in our minds at all times when we walk in life. Now, do we keep it real all the time on some subconscious level? There's some, again, we all got our issues. The point is, if you really want our support, y'all gotta come correct. Y'all don't get to disrespect. That's some narcissistic shit. Y'all don't get to disrespect us and then say, come in SARS with us. The fuck? No. Y'all gotta, now the ball is in your court. What you gonna do? Are y'all gonna stop this nonsense and show genuine love? We have love in our heart. I have love in my heart. Are y'all gonna stop that bullshit? Because if y'all ready to make amends and put the shit to the side, for one, y'all know that we are a conquered people. And y'all can say, I am not a slave. Motherfucker. Nigeria and all these African countries get their resources plummeted, stolen from them literally by Western powers. Y'all think we don't know that? Y'all not benefiting off of your own resources? 2,000 years worth of resources left. Some of the resources that can never be found nowhere else on the planet Earth is in Africa, and y'all not benefiting off of that shit. It should be nobody in poverty in Africa. Got the greedy ass, corrupt ass. Let me just stop. But we all know what's going on. Y'all know what's going on, just like we do. So all this, I'm gonna look down. Y'all better find somebody else. Y'all better start looking down on the people that historically screwed you over. Your oppressor. That's where the energy need to go to. Not to no random ass Black Americans in America. We just minding our business like the next nigga. So what the fuck y'all want to fuck with us for? Why y'all want to come at us for? And be jealous of us for? And then try to act like it's not jealous. That is textbook random ass tweets and random ass texts and hashtags and all this craziness. I've seen y'all in person do this shit. Literally in person. Like, it's weird. It doesn't make any sense. It's odd. It don't sit right with my stomach. It's laughable. It makes me laugh. I'm not mad. It's just weird. So y'all gotta stop this shit. Y'all young now, because I know y'all gonna be youth listening to this shit. I ain't got nothing but love in my heart for all Black people. I love Black people. I love melanin. Some of y'all do gotta go. Y'all do need to. I would never ever rock with no Baviotti. But the idea of us becoming one and being self-determined and finally having the self-confidence to do for self and believe in ourselves for once and by any means necessary. All these things, as far as like getting our economies going and all this stuff. We love that. I love that. So if y'all want to take it all personal, when y'all don't want me to bring out them real documents. I'm not trying to threaten y'all, hold nothing over y'all head. I'm just saying, like, this was nothing. This was lightweight stuff. Face the facts, face the music, just like how we got to. As Black Americans, we had to face the music of what's really in this country. Face the facts. If you want an ally, if you want a brothership, a sisterhood, if you want a brotherhood, if you want real again, y'all gotta be authentic because we don't do no fake shit. Y'all not about to pick on us and call us cicadas and all this stuff and they say, come inside. Why y'all not protesting for us? The African Americans don't care about us. The Black American. Do y'all even care about yourself? Why y'all hacking each other up like that? What the fuck? That's just not how it works. Y'all Black Africans gotta value each other. Y'all gotta value your own self. Y'all can't ask no random group that's oppressed as fuck to come and what can we do? Y'all know a lot of us ain't even got no money like that. No passports. How we gonna get over there? We don't even got a lot of y'all tripping. Why would we go out protesting in America for some shit in Nigeria when y'all is killing each other up like that? Black folk. So this is why you don't see us out here in mass. Mostly because y'all did that disrespect. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I sent text messages to Nigerians on my phone telling them the truth about one of them was a real quick one. Another one, I broke it down about the spiritual gifts of Nigerians, about why Nigerians are under spiritual warfare attack, and what can they do and what can they expect. Did I hear from the motherfuckers? No, because they feel that jealousy in their heart and they think I don't know it. I could feel jealousy. And I'm telling them, this is what you got to do. I want the best for you. I want the best for all of us. Why I can prove that I sent that shit to a Nigerian. I could prove it. And I said, you know, I just want this all to end. Y'all don't deserve this. We got to stick together. Did that motherfucker text me back? No. Because of that, I gotta feel better. I gotta feel superior. Motherfucker, y'all not superior to nobody. Damn sure not superior. And I don't get on no pissing contest. I just don't. Y'all need to compete with yourself. We all competing with ourselves to be better than our latest self, our latest version of ourselves. So I don't have no. I uplift my people before I tear them down or before I look down on them. That's the type of nigga I am, and that's the type of that's what Black Americans are going towards. Back in the past, we learned our lesson from being self-hating bitches. We learned our lesson from doing that shit. You don't get nowhere doing that stuff. We know that now. We are suffering because of all of this stuff. A lot of these issues we cause on ourselves. Did nobody tell you to hate yourself and start killing each other and hating on the next African group? That's crazy. So like I said, if you want our loyalty, because we value loyalty too. We do value loyalty. If you want a genuine friend, you're not gonna find it nowhere else but in a Black American. Of course other people too, but what I'm saying is you don't get no close to authentic and genuine than if you could see the African American soul for what it is, the Black American soul for what it is. The Black American just want the whole diaspora connected. That's why we started that Pan-Africanism shit. That failed. So that's our true nature. Don't hate on our nature. If y'all want to hash it out, all you gotta do is stop doing that shit. Tell y'all parent, don't be listening to that weird ass shit y'all parents be saying about don't hang around them, they violent. When is we violent? I live in an area that's 80% Black with one of the lowest fucking crime rates in the country. Is that on the news? Fuck no. Are y'all crazy? And they own their homes like this. I haven't seen a white person in months. It's nothing but Black people where I stay at. It ain't no crime and ain't no riffraff and people killing each other and gangbanging. None of that craziness. That's propaganda. That's propaganda. So, yeah, I could say, oh, she being disrespectful. Y'all know good and well I'm not being disrespectful to nobody. I spoke the truth. I showed you the evidence. I got tons of more evidence that I don't want to bring out because I want this shit to end. Be a genuine nigga. Be a genuine soul. A genuine African, because I know y'all don't like the word nigga, whatever. Be a genuine soul on this earth. Be a righteous soul. Loving yourself, loving one another, and valuing yourself. And that goes for the Black Americans too. That goes for myself. And we will rise. As far as the NSAR situation, it is the beginning of something that I hope can turn in the favor of the youth and of the people of Nigeria. Don't want it to get co-opted for some type of Western power to barge in and whatever. This could be a setup. This could be any. I'm watching it. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I obviously know there's some corruption. I obviously know that the people have been suffering and that they have not been invested in. So we know these things. So if you cannot put that ego aside to work with the African American, the Black American, you ain't gonna ever see us protest on your behalf. Even if we agree with what the fuck is going on. It's just more so like, we don't want to deal with that hatred and that fakeness. We don't do fake around here and disrespect in these streets. So, the ball is in your court. How will you approach us in the future? Are you going to continue to make those crazy ass hashtags? Because now my people is fed up. I'm not even as fed up as they are. I still try to show love to my people. Because that's how much love I have in my heart. I have a lot of love in my heart that could spread. Now, what colleague J.N.S. has to say about the situation is hopefully this shit go in y'all favor and this shit stop, and that y'all can take control back of y'all government and have a fair, just system. That's what I have to say. And I said what I said. And until next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.